Hello, welcome to Games in the Bar, Indie Plus's Games in the Bar for Game Night September 2014. We're playing Apocalypse World. This is the second Apocalypse World game. The other one was not recorded, unfortunately. That's my mistake. But this one will be recorded, so please enjoy. Um, First of all, Apocalypse World is a very violent game. It's a post-apocalyptic Mad Max style game. There will be people shot in faces. There will be blood. There will be people dying, and we're not going to focus on the description of that too much, but it will happen. And there will possibly be sex in the game, uh, and we're going to stay away from sexual violence, but there's definitely sex. Um, the game plays a little bit with gender. There might be like characters that don't identify one way or the other, or that identify as a gender that is different from their sex or whatever. I don't expect it'll be a big issue. And language-wise, yes, we will be cussing a lot. I will be cussing a lot because Apocalypse World is not a nice world, and I like to convey that by using bad words. Um, so if any of that stuff is going to bother you, check out the other Indie Plus games and videos and cool, awesome stuff that is not this video. So I'm Aaron Field. I'm going to be emceeing the game, and we're going to go around and kind of just give everybody's names and what they're playing, and then we'll get into character creation. So, starting with Brian.
Um, my name is Brian. I will be playing the Brainer.
Who? Edwin, I guess.
All right, I'm Edwin. I'll be playing the gun lugger.
Who? Jesse.
Jesse, I'll be playing the operator.
Right. Jim.
I am Jim, and I will be playing the Hocus.
Cool. Kyle.
I'm Phil, and I will be playing the Angel.
Sweet. And Steven.
And I'm Steven. I'll be playing the Savvy Head.
Cool. Savvy Head. All right. So we haven't created characters yet. We're going to kind of do that together. And here's the basics of how the game works. It's just like many role-playing games. It's a conversation. I, as the MC, I'm going to kind of set up the situations and like ask you some questions and stuff. And you, and I'm going to try to make the world feel like a real place. And you, as the players, you're going to talk about what your characters are doing and where they are and what they're, what they're saying and etc. And your job is to make the characters feel like real people, right? Really cool, hard, hot, and weird people, but still human beings. And cool. Sometimes, as you're saying things that your character's doing or whatever, as you're trying to accomplish things in this post-apocalyptic world, you will say something that triggers a move. And a move is just a little game mechanic thing. Like, for example, one of the basic moves is, let's see, read a person, right? So that move says when you read a person in a charged interaction, roll plus sharp. So that means whenever you're like, I want to find out, I'm trying to figure out what this guy's all about, and you've got a gun to his head or whatever, then you will have to roll some dice. And roll plus sharp means you roll 2d6 and you add whatever your sharp bonus is, which is usually -1 to +3, somewhere in there. If you roll 7 or higher, it's good. You did it. If it's 6 or less, maybe you still did it, but I get to do nasty things to you as the MC. And there's consequences, and we see where those consequences go. Sometimes you'll have to make choices, and those are a lot of times built in the move. So, for example, for read a person, depending on how well you do, you get to ask some questions from the move. So you might ask, what's your character really feeling, or how could I get your character to help me or to do something? And for those questions, you'll always get an honest answer from me, right? So for moves and things, it's always like you get the truth, even if your character doesn't necessarily know. But you get as much as your character can figure out. So I won't lie to you as the MC, right? Cool. And there's also some moves that just say, instead of doing this thing, you can do this thing, or like you just have a gang, for example, is one of the moves, a gang that follows you. So some moves are just like say something is true. Some moves say roll something and pick off this list. That's basically how they work. There are 5 stats. There's cool, which is how cool, like cool under fire. It means cool. It means stylish. It means badass. Hard, which means how hard you are, like how tough, and also how good you are at killing people and violence and that. Intimidation and that kind of thing. Hot means attractive and hot and very convincing and stuff like that. And sharp is all about how bright you are and how good you are at reading a situation and stuff like that. It's like understanding what's going on around you. And weird is just that. It's in this world, something's wrong with the world. And one of those things is there's this psychic maelstrom that's kind of constantly all around you at the edges of your vision and sort of at the edges of your mind, trying to get into your brain. And weird is basically how good you are at using that psychic energy and stuff around you. So as you can see, everybody has access to these basic moves, which are in that document there. It's like page 34-ish. Not the advanced basic moves, but just the basic moves. And in addition, some characters are going to have like their own moves that they use. So when you're looking at, you're creating a character and you're looking for which stats you want, that's kind of what they do, and it lists it. So, cool is for doing something under fire, and hot is for seducing or manipulating people, stuff like that. So go ahead and work through your playbook. It'll say like creating a hocus or creating the brainer or whatever, and you just go step by step. So pick a name, pick a look, pick some stats, and it'll tell you what moves you get. Sometimes you just get a particular move. Sometimes you have to choose moves. You can pick your gear and set up your followers and your gang and all that kind of good stuff. The only thing you don't need to worry about right now is HX. We're going to do HX after we kind of make characters, and then we'll figure out how they're connected. HX is like how you're connected to other people.
So we should probably grab pen and paper, I'm guessing.
It is probably helpful, so you can keep track of what you chose.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So the moves you choose what attribute to put your moves under, right?
No.
So
a move will say.
It does say, because I didn't see. So a move says it's a like this one. All mine seem to be directed towards sex or something. I don't know what that. Unnatural lust transfixion. What is that? Oh, I see. Hot.
Yeah. Who are you playing again? I forget.
I'm playing the Brainer.
The Brainer. Okay, cool. Brainer.
Okay.
So, for example, the Brainer has one. So unnatural lust transfixion says when you try to seduce someone, roll plus weird instead of plus hot. So, if you're going to be if you want to play that creepy psycho get people to sleep with you, kind of brainer. And that's, you might want to do that because brainers are good at they like to get people alone so they can like mess with their heads. Then you can use your weird, which is probably better than your hot for you.
So direct brain whisper, is that being able to talk to somebody in your mind, or I really just don't see what it's saying here. Okay, and then puppet is connected to what? Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
And
in-brain,
so, okay, I see.
yeah. So that'll say the brainers are a little weird. Like the concept is that you are just a complete kind of wacko and like to mess with people all the time and like control people. And so like in-brain puppet strings says if you have time and intimacy zone, you can like touch someone, then you can plan a command inside their mind, right? Using your psycho.
Okay, so that's just saying I just have to touch you. I don't have to have sex with you or something like that. Because that's
correct. Yeah. Physical intimacy means you just have to be near them, right? And you have to like have access to them, kind of deal. Everybody also has this a special move, which says what happens when you sleep with another player character, which could happen. And like for the brainer, you automatically do a deep brain scan type move, so you get to know more about them. That's
Where's
called your
that
brainer special on the first page.
Okay.
And everybody's special move is different, but it might not come up, but it could.
Brainer. Oh, it's brainer special. There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't you see? So that's a move also.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with my character. Let's see.
Okay. Cool. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this stuff. Keep in mind that as the gun lugger, for example, you got to pick what weapons you have and what kind of stats they have. Weapons have like different tags, which basically do what they say they do. So if it says it's close range, then you can't shoot somebody at far range with it, right? And there's no like specific distance that it is. It's just like kind of makes sense in the fiction.
And I'm choosing the weapon, but I'm not choosing anything about the weapon. In other words, if I choose shotgun, it is what it is. It doesn't look like it comes with 3 tags in this case.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Yep.
Harm. Oh, I should explain harm a little bit. Everybody has a countdown clock on their sheet, which goes from 12 o'clock all the way around. If you take 1 harm, you're set to be. You fill in that one section of the pie chart, and you're at 3 o'clock, right? If you take another harm, then you're at 6 o'clock. It goes around. So everybody effectively has 6 hit points, so to speak, 6 harm that they can take. Anything 6 o'clock or above will heal on its own. Anything like below 9 o'clock you're pretty messed up, and you're going to need some medical attention right quick. So as player characters, you guys are really important in the world and really special and badass, and you have a lot of harm that you can take. Most NPCs, if they take like 2 harm, they're pretty much out of it. Like they're either dead or almost dead, right? So you're kind of special because you can take a lot. So when a weapon like that, machine gun that says it's 3 harm, that's gonna kill pretty much. Any single person is just gonna die when they get shot with a machine gun. Makes sense, right? So that's kind of the scale that we're working with. And armor is kind of similar thing. One armor will protect you from one incoming harm, and one armor can just be like, it's any kind of, most armor is just like one armor. It's like hunks, maybe bottle cap vest, or just leather jacket, or could be I don't know, whatever. Maybe you got a car door or something that you carry around as a shield. That could be a one armor. Anything that's two armor is like freaking body, like riot gear type heavy armor, right? Or like big ol' hunk of like a steel door or something that you're hiding behind is two armor. Yeah, that's kind of things we're dealing with.
So are we starting off with the assumption that we all know each other, or are
Yes.
we working across purposes, or?
That's a good question. Yes, you all know each other. You're not necessarily friends, but you're not enemies, right? Right at the start, and you're all going to be hanging around a hardhold, or a town, kind of a fortified town. That you're all sort of connected to, and you all definitely know each other. Maybe some of you are friends. I don't know. We'll find out when we do the game checks.
That's the most fun part.
Yeah, but speaking of the setting, so let's do, just because it's easy to rely on genre tropes, let's do this kind of desert wasteland sort of deal. And there's this hard hold built up called Mercer's Mercer's Rise, and it's run by this hard holder named Mercer. And a lot of this game is going to be me asking you questions, and then you get to make up the answers if you don't know them, right? So I'm going to pick somebody. I'm going to pick on Jim real quick and say, Mercer is he rules through fear. Why are people so scared of this guy? What does he do to people?
People are scared of him because we're in the desert and he controls the water. And if you piss him off, you don't get any water.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to ask a question about Mercer's Rise, the town itself. Steven, what's the main defense of this town? Like, how do they keep out enemies and stuff?
There's there's an outer wall and there's a trench outside it.
Okay, what's the wall made out of?
The wall is made out of scrap metal. There are machine guns mounted on top of it.
Nice, cool. Scrap metal. So it's kind of patchwork, all different kinds of pieces of metal, pieces of cars and barbed wire and hunks of like various machines. Cool. And let's see now. Outside the town, I'm gonna ask Brian. What there's some kind of animal that lives in this this area outside the town. It lives in this like desert area, and what's the main danger from this animal? Like, what does it do to people?
It's a flesh-eating rabbit that escaped from a lab over 30 years ago and has now populated the area. I'm thinking Monty Python. Only they're not little bunnies. They're now jaguar-sized rabbits with fangs.
Carnivores that breed like herbivores is a very scary thought.
Yeah, but them's good eats.
And they're very the fearful thing is not just because of their big teeth, but the fact that they can hop quite a distance, and
Nice.
you can't run away from them.
Cool.
That's that.
Fast predators. All right, awesome.
Should probably make them psionic too. Well, what,
All right.
see,
Cool. Very cool. So, does everybody have their character more or less complete there?
Yep.
kind of. I'm still writing it down. I have it, but I'm writing it down.
Okay, cool. Cool. Take your
So
time.
under the equipment, one of the things I see is I've got a 9mm or signature weapon. Oddments worth 1 barter? Is that jewelry and other things?
Right. Good. Another good question, man. And I should go through the. I'm supposed to go through this stuff and tell you about it, but I have not been doing that because I need to pull out the book. Give me a sec.
Because I'm seeing my character as being, remember Victor Laszlo in Casablanca?
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing him as, the fixer, is sort of being like, he's
Nice.
wearing light color suits, constantly patting away the sweat from his head. The skill package, or not, the stat one that I went with is the one with the -1 hard. I see him as being, overweight, walks with a limp, and the signature weapon, I was wondering if it could be a cane, sword, and one-shot shotgun shell combination.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I came to Mercer's Rise for the restorative waters, but Mercer's Rise is a desert. I was misinformed.
Beautiful. Okay, yes. So to answer your question about barter,
There's
that's kind
actually
of
there's actually a little bit of it down on your character sheet. It will tell you
oh yeah.
how much barter, what barter will buy for you and stuff
Right.
like that.
So barter.
And I think it's different for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah. Barter is kind of an abstract amount of stuff that you can trade. It's basically like the currency, right? And it's for us to decide. And I'm going to ask that question right now. If there's in Mercer's Rise, or in this whole region maybe, if there's some unit of currency that you guys use, and what is that? Or is it just always just 1 for 1, I'll give you this goat for that gun or whatever?
Well, if it's a true apocalyptic thing, it should be bartering. If you
Yeah,
really,
but
if the thing really suck, who
could
cares
use
about
Right.
money?
ammunition as a currency or something,
Right.
I think
That's
well,
bartering.
if the big deal is that Mercer controls the water, then your plastic bottle of Poland Spring is going to be a pretty standard unit of currency, I think.
That's what I was
Nice.
thinking. Underground economy of water.
I like
Looks
that.
like we
down-
got a person we got to kill already.
Cool. So, awesome. So, a nice little plastic bottle of water. That's
Yeah.
about worth 1 barter in this town. Say, well, 1 barter is actually a lot. Maybe it's a few
Yeah.
of those is worth the barter.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
So
yeah,
may I maybe this might help me and maybe help others.
Yeah.
If I go down my list, tell me if my character's done or not. I don't really like. So cool, hard, hot, shot, weird. I put my numbers in that. Moves, I got all basic, deep brain scan, direct brain whisper, and automatic brain scan is one of my special things. Gear, silence, 9mm, outfit that counts as 1 armor, deep earplugs, and violation glove. Am I missing something for my character to?
it seems about right. And
Okay.
You also should also pick out a name and look.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you got that. Okay. So, yeah. Choose a name, look, stats, moves, gear, and HX. And we'll do the HX together right now. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Any other? Let's see. Let me just double check. Any other quick thing? Oh, you don't have to be friends, but you have to know each other. You have to be basically allies. Can't be enemies right off the bat. Your character is unique in Apocalypse World, so there are other medics, and they might even be called Angel by their friends, but you are the only Angel, right? Like, you are something special when it comes to healers. And same goes for other people. Like, there's other people who are good at using guns, and other people who have big guns, but you are the only gun lugger who has these special abilities, right? And you're like kind of an epic badass in this world. You're not necessarily well known or famous or anything, but you are nonetheless pretty awesome. Oh yeah, one armor can be whatever. It can be bulletproof vests, spike leathers, armored corsets, whatever you want. Feel free to choose like your own style of clothes and however your own look. Go for it.
I got them. I'm done.
Two armor though is serious body armor, riot gear. Might be low tech, might be made out of a car or something, but the point is that you're walking around in armor, right? I don't know if anybody has 2 armor to start off, but it's serious business. Okay. And we did the barter stuff.
How critical is armor going to be? Because I'm thinking of my fez as being like a British Bobby's metal helmet.
Yeah. How critical is it? That depends on how much trouble you want to get into.
Yeah. So, sir, let me tell you, I mean this sincerely. So when he goes to shoot me in the heart,
Yeah. You can play with it however you want, and it might not even come up. Like you'll almost always have the chance to avoid combat, right? Because this is a brutal world, and you could die seriously. So you probably don't want to get into a lot of fights if you can help it. But so you'll almost always have the chance to run away or to try to talk them down or like just give them what they want or whatever. Almost always.
Do we start off with any? And I haven't looked at the other sheets or whatever they are, but I see I've got gigs. Do I start with any gigs that are in motion or in play or whatever?
Let me check real quick. Okay. Choose 3.
Looks like it's page 22.
Yeah. So let's see. It says you get moonlighting and then choose a thing. So moonlighting says there's a stress. Choose a number of gigs to work. Okay. Yeah. So how gigs work? You should pick 3 of those gigs that are like possibilities that you have kind of you have these connections established, right? So you can go and work for these people or whatever. And then choose 3 of those paying gigs and then 1 obligation gig that you're tied to. And usually the operator's kind of like a between sessions type deal where you'll between sessions you'll go in your downtime work on these gigs and stuff. For the first session we might choose 1 or 2 to highlight as like, yes, this is happening right now, right?
I got to step away 1 second. The phone's ringing.
Okay, cool. The last thing is, as I said, I'm not out to get you. If I were, I could just say, oh, everybody takes 10 harm and dies. So that would be very fun or interesting or anything. So I'm working with you to tell this cool story, and I'm gonna also it's challenging for you guys. Yeah, so I'm here to find out what's going to happen, and what's going to happen. It could be that your characters die, but maybe they overcome or not. I haven't decided ahead of time like what the story's about, right? It kind of depends. So you have a lot of input here, to influence the story and tell a cool story that you want to see. That said, everybody should more or less be done with their characters, so let's move on to HX. So first we're going to go around and everybody introduce your character. Tell us again what playbook you chose, and then kind of your name and your look, and sort of what your deal is. Don't give us your whole history or anything, but just give us the gist. All right? Cool. And why don't we go backwards from on my screen anyway? So Steven first.
All right, I'm Jeremy Burdick, the Savvy Head. I'm basically overweight tech engineer type. I work out of a big garage, which is half an open space where I can fix vehicles and stuff, and half it's filled with workbenches, parts, weird gear, and stuff. Basically, I'm the town's fix-it guy. And I'd make my idea is that I make myself useful enough to everybody so that nobody hassles me.
Awesome. Cool. And you have like a workspace set up somewhere in the town, right? That you can work out of. Awesome. Do you work for Mercer as well? Sometimes?
Everyone works for Mercer. Right. Yeah.
All right. As far as you're concerned. All right. Cool. Kyle.
All right. So
I'm not trying to challenge the power structure in any way. I'm trying to work within it.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I am playing Carmela, the Angel. She is a Hispanic woman who's kind of running a drug dealing business in Mercer's Rise. She's got an infirmary, and because she has an infirmary, she's got a crew of 2 people, Shigusa and Mox, these two ladies that are helping her out, and she has a still in her infirmary as well, so she makes alcohol, she makes drugs, and she kind of sells it. She doesn't really like Mercer that much, and while she has a very kind face, she's got very ruthless eyes. One of her abilities is she has a healing touch. She can touch somebody and heal them, which makes her a really good angel. But at the same time, she opens both her brain and her patient's brain to the psychic maelstrom, and they kind of have this crazy psychic moment together. And so that's how she uses her abilities to strike fear into everybody's hearts. So everybody comes to her for not only medicine, but also for alcohol and drugs and all the stuff that they need when they're down on their luck, all the stuff they need to not be so depressed in this terrible, terrible world. And she is pretty ruthless. Yeah, medicine. Her weapon of choice is a big meat cleaver.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Go, Jim.
I am always the Hocus. My look is ambiguous, as is the look of all of my followers. I'm dressed in formal wear. I have an innocent face, forgiving eyes, and a fit body. My followers, when you create followers as a Hocus, you have to characterize them. I characterize them as my scene, and we are this group of kids that like late teens, maybe early 20s. It's tough to tell. We call ourselves the Prom Dates, and we dress in whatever old formal wear we can find, tuxedos and prom dresses and quinceañera dresses and stuff like this. But nobody pays any attention to, like, we all have, like, kind of like androgynous mod haircuts and stuff like this, and we all wear enough makeup that you can't tell whether we're male or female, and we swap back and forth with the tuxes and the dresses and all this kind of stuff, and we're all in, like, skinny and in good shape because we just dance all the time. Like, that's our thing. We just find places and spontaneously get these dances going.
Jim, what's your character's name? I'm sorry.
My character's name is Always.
Always. And what did you pick? You picked the what?
I'm the Hocus.
Hocus.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a kind of escapism vibe in this town. We've got people with alcohol. We've got the dancers over on this side. Everyone's trying to just forget that they work under Mercer.
Yeah, and so my, just for the benefit of the MC, my followers, when we are in surplus, we are plus party and plus growth. My followers are eager, enthusiastic, and successful recruiters, and they're joyous and celebratory. When we are in want, my followers aren't really mine. It's more like I'm theirs. So when they're in want, it's judgment instead of desertion. And they rely entirely on me for their lives and needs, want, desperation.
Gotcha.
And we've got, and then all the usual hocus stuff. So we are just dancing all over the place, dancing up a storm.
So, quick question:
while the world goes to hell.
Do you always? Does everybody consider you the sort of the leader?
Oh my God, yeah.
You're like the official.
Absolutely, yeah.
Person in charge. Okay.
I'm like if this were
Are you the prom queen?
Yeah, if this were Monster Hearts, I'd be the queen. Well, I'm kind of like the prom queen and prom king, depending on Yeah.
They're both.
All right.
Exactly.
Cool. And Jesse.
Dr. Ellie Fant. Dr. Fant, professionally, L to his friends, Ellie to his lovers. He showed up one day in town, having left his previous location where he was arranging things, and he happened to have some water testing kits with him that he had somehow acquired at the last location, and Mercer, for whatever reason at that point, was concerned that his precious water supply had started to get infected, poisoned or whatever, and lo and behold, Dr. Fant just happened to be there at the right time with the testing kits, which got him entrance and permission to stay into the city. I've got as one of my operator moves, reputation, and so having bounced from town to town, he's developed a bit of a reputation, and as there are certain trade caravans that go around, periodically folks will show up that know him, and so he's able to get Mercer a good deal on whatever. So he's built up a reputation. Nice. Which keeps him around. He, like I said, he's very Victor Laszlo, constantly, regardless of whether it's a hot day or a cool day, he constantly seems to be sweating because he is a large man. But he always has a big smile, and the smile extends to his eyes as far as anyone else knows.
Do you mean Signor Ferrari?
Signor Ferrari.
He's the guy who owns the Blue Parrot.
Yes.
He's the big man. Okay, good.
Yes. Sorry, thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
Nice.
Yes, definitely not Laszlo.
Okay, that's really a lot of cool there if you're Laszlo.
No,
all right.
No, Ferrari. You're absolutely right. Sidney Greenstreet's character.
Excellent.
Beautiful. And out of curiosity, which obligation gig did you choose?
Let's see. I actually did look through these. This is there were actually a couple of them that I looked at. The pursuing luxury, I thought about if there was a way to get any sort of air conditioning, but instead he's
there might be.
Well, I think better is there's a reason that he originally started to move from town to town, and at this point he's trying to avoid somebody, but part of why he wants to stay in Mercer's good graces is because this is probably one of the best setups that he happened to find himself falling into.
Oh, okay. Sorry, so you're avoiding someone? Is that right?
Yeah. So
cool.
Someone, I haven't had enough time to think about it, who actually...
Right.
Actually, he's trying to avoid. His father was the fixer at the original town that he lived in, and he had a falling out when he did a deal that his father couldn't, and he made his dad look bad. His dad, unfortunately, has a lot of contacts and a lot of power, and so he decided it's probably best if he start taking his skills to another location.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. So you're tied up in brokering deals and stuff.
Right.
All right. And Edwin.
All right. So I am playing Paul Franklin, who goes by Wolf. He is a tall, hard man with the long distance stare. He is always seen armed. His armor is a is basically a tailored Kevlar suit and boots. And he is a gun for hire, but he selects his clients with a little bit of care, because some stuff is not worth doing. Most stuff is not worth doing.
Cool.
It's got to be interesting.
Why don't you name one of your clients for me, real quick?
Sure.
Somebody you've worked with before.
PC or somebody?
No,
or
just make up a name.
Somebody out in the world. Okay. So yeah, Kendra Andrews, I have worked for, and
Andrews?
Kendra Andrews.
Kendra, cool. All right. And what kind of thing did she ask you to do?
Well, it was a protection deal of making sure that a certain item made it from here to there, from Mercer's Rise to another town,
Cool.
and it had the added excitement that word had already gotten out that it was going to get transferred, and that it was valuable. So that's why I was willing to take it, is that it was a bit more exciting than just your normal guard duty.
Cool. So Kendra is kind of a merchant that occasionally, needs valuable things transported here to there. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, and Brian.
My character's name is Malcolm. He is the brainer. He's very, very thin, pale, and is redheaded, but only has a stripe of hair going down his head. Not a mohawk, but it's like flat. He wears black dominatrix-like things that have metal plating intergrind in it. Has very long rubber gloves. What I really want for a weapon is like what were those things that they kill cattle with when they shock them?
Yeah, a captive rod.
That's what I want.
Gun.
But I don't know.
No
If that
country
really,
for old men kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I didn't see that. But I want a cattle prod. That's what I really want for a weapon.
Yeah, you got it. You got it, man.
All right.
That sounds
So
awesome.
anyway, my little role in this is I get information from Mercer and from anybody really who will pay my price because I can read minds. And in order to extract that, I have a little dungeon down in the ground where I take the people to question them. I'm an opportunist, but I'm also a pragmatist. And my big goal is to get rid of Mercer and take over. That's my...
Nice. Cool. Is there any particular payment that you enjoy, that you prefer to be paid?
Well, of course, I like water. You need the water. I also, I'm a finer living type of person. I like the fine things in life more than the, I have all my other things like, things to do harm and stuff. I just want like the luxuries of life.
Wonderful.
Whatever that may be.
Okay, cool. Right. Okay, so now we introduced everybody. So we have Jeremy, the Savvy Head. We have Carmela, the Angel. Always the Hocus. Dr. Ellie Fant, the Operator. Paul or Wolf, the Gunlugger, and Malcolm, who's the Brainer. So the next part is we're going to go around and do HX. We're going to take turns doing this, and how it works is look at the HX section on the second page of your sheet. It'll say on your turn you choose such and so, right? And then tell everyone else HX +1 or HX +0 or whatever. So you're gonna list off, you're gonna tell people what HX you have with them. or sorry, what HX they have with you is how it works. HX represents how well you know somebody, how well you kind of have their number. It doesn't necessarily mean you're friends or that you like them or anything like that, but it's just you know them well enough to kind of know how they act and know what they like and don't like and stuff like that, what their goal is. Now, on other people's turns, you also have some options. So you might have some choices to make. Like while other people are taking their turns, you can say, "Oh, also you're gonna do. I know you really well for some reason or whatever." Or sometimes it'll say you modify the number that people tell you. So for example, if Carmela, the angel, is taking her turn and she says, okay, everybody has HX equals 0 with me because I don't, I'm not very friendly with people. I like to keep my distance from people. Well, the brainer says, but I know people really well, so instead I'm going to add +1 to that, right? So then the brainer would write down next to Carmela's name, HX +1. Make sense?
Nope.
Okay.
But that's okay.
But it will.
Just try to follow along as we go through. Okay,
All right.
so
Could all of us put our character names and the class or archetype or whatever it's called on the screens?
yes, that would be helpful.
Good.
Edwin doesn't have video, so that's not going to be possible. But everybody else could use. If you use Dice Stream, you can go to the lower third and put that up.
Edwin, which archetype were you?
I am the gun lugger.
And what was your name?
Paul Franklin, and I go by Wolf.
Just call him Wolf.
Wolf.
Easier to remember.
Yep.
And Brian, you were the brainer. What was your name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm, there we go. It's got Jeremy, Always, Carmela. Oh, hang on. I put Dr. Fant, Wolf, and Malcolm, right?
Yes. Okay. Cool. So why don't we go back along the other way, I guess. So Brian, do you want to kick us off? And it's your turn.
I have no idea what I'm doing. That's
Okay.
You need to go the other way because I have no idea what you're
Well,
talking
it's easy. So you just look at the HX section.
about. Yeah.
Right? And it says on your turn, let's see, you are the brainer, right?
Yeah.
So brainer, okay. So for you, you just tell everyone HX -1, right? Because you keep
Okay.
yourself secret.
Oh, okay. So everyone should just know that. HX -1.
Yep. Now, all of you individually might have something that modifies that and says, oh, you know everybody really well, so +1 to everybody else, right? Or -1 to whatever they say, or something like that. Okay. And Edwin, who is our wolf, our gunlugger, right?
Yep.
And take your turn.
Okay. So, Jeremy and I was at Jeremy's shop, and we were getting some weapons fixed when his place was attacked, and the two of us stood shoulder to shoulder and fought off the folks who were trying to take his take equipment from him. So Jeremy, you have +2. I often visit Carmela,
Yes.
occasionally when I get injured, but it's because I actually enjoy that psychic buzz. And because she delivers the psychic buzz to me, I consider her the prettiest. Carmela, you have +2.
Nice.
Everyone else is 0.
Okay. So everybody else 0. So did everybody follow that? And then does anybody else when it says on others' turns you can choose something? Does anybody want to make that for Wolf and have some connection with the gunlugger?
Well, I'm planning to for my HX +2. So should I hold off?
If it says on your turn, choose this, save that for your turn, right? But some people, it says on others' turns, do such and so. So
Whatever number everyone.
I had one of those for Malcolm, for Brainer. It's
okay, go for
choose
it.
the character you figure for the biggest potential problem, and I think he's a problem because he wants to start off this power struggle, which could throw our whole society into turmoil. I figure trying to upset the power structure is just going to cause trouble. So I have.
You know that about me?
Yeah.
How did you find that out?
That's his suspicion about you. Is that
well, it's my suspicion. You seem ambitious, and I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
There's nothing worse for a complacent society than ambition.
So mine
Right.
says on others' turns, whatever number everyone tells you, give it a +1 or write it next to their characters' names. You depend upon clear relationships. Is that numbers that people give Dr. Fant, or is that
Yes.
the numbers? Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
when they say everyone else write HX +1, or everyone else write HX plus equals 0, or whatever.
So like next to Malcolm, you should
take
write
that
0,
and add 1 to it.
and next to Wolf, you should write +1.
Right. So Malcolm gave me a -1, but I have a +1 because of this special thing. So that became a 0. And then Wolf gave me a +2, but I have a -1 with everyone except for the special guy, so that became a +1.
Okay, cool. That sounds right. Okay.
I'm not going to lie, I entirely got lost on that, but
It's okay. It's okay.
I think I'm getting it.
We'll work it out. All right. So that was Wolf's turn. So now we're gonna do Jesse's turn. All right. So it's your turn, Jesse, and your sheet says choose these things.
Well, with Wolf, it was pretty easy. There I was in the middle of arranging a deal, and it got ugly, and the person on the other end shoved me, and so I had no choice but to shoot him with my cane, and in turn his partner decided it was time to act up, and he accidentally bumped into Wolf, spilling Wolf's drink. Wolf, of course, responded the way Wolf often, as I've since learned, does, and resolved the situation for me. And so in exchange for his doing that, I provided the goods that were supposed to go to this other individual to Wolf, and we decided, hey, we seem to work quite well together. So Wolf has the HX +2. For Savvyhead, was supposed to deliver some equipment to me to close a deal that I was working on, but when I got there to pick it up, he didn't have it. What he didn't want to tell me, because he didn't want to...
So we want to make sure that you're not actually speaking for other characters in a way that they don't agree with.
Okay.
So we got to make sure that this is like you can say what your perception of it is, but we want to be careful about like attributing feelings and actions to other players that aren't our characters.
Fair enough. Where I was going with it, and
yeah, just make sure they're cool with it. And
absolutely. Where I was going with it was that it was actually equipment that Mercer decided that he needed, and so it just made more sense for the to get along to actually provide it to Mercer as opposed to giving it to me to help with my deal.
Okay.
Savvy, does that work?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean,
It seemed to go along with the character description.
Right. Yeah. If Mercer was throwing his weight around, I would just go along with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's an HX -1.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
And Wolf, you're okay with our history?
Oh, yeah.
You work together? Okay, cool.
Great.
Right. So And then what do you give to everybody else then?
Doesn't it just default to 0?
No, it says tell everyone else HX plus 1.
Oh, my apologies. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. So, cool. So everybody's got +1 with Dr.
Fant.
unless otherwise modified somehow.
In fact,
I'm going to use my on other people's turns thing for you, Dr. Fant. I've met you, but I really try not to get attached to anyone, especially people that just came into town. So you're great and everything, but I'm going to take a -1. So RHX, instead of me being a 1 HX with you, RHX is 0. Does that make sense?
it does. So for all the folks that are at least +1, then you generally refer to me as L, but for Carmela, it's Dr. Fant to you.
Oh, it's Dr. Fant. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I should clarify something here. HX is not necessarily symmetrical, so it's possible that somebody else has HX +3 with you, and you have HX -1 with them, right? So they know you really well. You don't have a clue about their stuff, right? So that's also possible. So yeah, don't be confused by that. All right. Cool. Go ahead, Jim, with your turn.
All right, so on my turn, any of you who decide that you might want to be my follower, there's an adjustment there. If you want to be in my little cult, my little dancing cult.
So
it doesn't sound like from descriptions that anybody necessarily is interested in that.
Oh man, I would totally join the prom dates.
Yes.
It's not you, it's us.
We don't have a we don't have a. We need a battle babe in this game. That would be who,
Yes.
or a Skinner. That would
Yes.
be who would be in my cult. Anyway, everyone else is HX 0, and just for what it's worth, whatever number anyone else is telling me, I give it +1, because I'm a good and quick judge of others.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. So, Brian, by the way, because you're the brainer, I just want to point out that when these other people are taking their turns, at any point you can use one of your things that says, "Oh."
I was about to say, mine looks like I'm pretty much got the upper hand because I have. Now, let me ask you. It gives me 3 things. Do I get to use all 3 of those, or can I? In other words, does that only pertain to 3 people, or? See, I'm kind of confused on how that works.
Yes, it should be. You can use as many of those as you want. But they have to be on different people, right? So you can have up to 3 like special cases of like, oh, this person I had this special relationship with.
Right. And then everybody else adds 1. It says here, everyone else, whatever number they tell you.
Yes, exactly. For you, you write down +1 whatever they say. Yep.
So for me, who was it that distrusted me? That's the one that quite evidently dislikes and distrusts me.
Jeremy, the savvy head.
Right. Yeah. So I write HX +3 next to him, right? Or he does it to me.
Yeah,
In other words, I get a +3 on my dice.
Right. You're just gonna ignore whatever he says and just write +3 for
okay.
So
then
All
the
right.
one that has his hand in the cookie jar. Let's see. I'm watching him carefully. That was let's see. Not Angel. Operator, I guess. No, gunlugger, right?
Was the fixer or the gunlugger? The fixer.
Yeah.
I'm confused on who was what. I don't remember. Who's the fixer? I don't see that on here.
That's
Operator.
Operator, sorry.
Operator. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I think I'm thinking of the operator. So the operator, I'm going to do +3, and then let's see, what was the other one?
You watch him carefully. You've been watching him carefully for some time. All right.
Exactly. And then I don't get this one. I slept in his presence.
One of them has slept in your presence. So, in other words, either knowingly or unknowingly, you had access to their brain, So you kind of know their secrets.
So I was reading them while they were sleeping.
Yes.
Sort of thing. Okay, I didn't get that part. Okay.
And it's not necessarily because you were stalking them.
Right. Exactly.
There could have been a deal or something.
I'll do that with the healer, I think.
Oh.
Carmela.
So was it? Did you sneak into my infirmary and read my mind while I was sleeping, or was it you gave me something and as payment I had to sleep in your presence?
That's but no, I snuck in. I did it without your knowing. Yeah. That would be more my style.
All right, sorry, we got off track there, but I just wanted to point out, and other people might have stuff you do on others' turns, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay. So
then everybody else is just +1, right? Hocus and.
Yeah, you wait for them for their turn, and they'll tell you what to write down, and you're just going to add 1 to that. Okay. So we did the Hocus. So now it is Carmela the Angel's turn.
Okay. Let's see. So always the Hocus put a hand in when it really mattered and helped me save a life. Somebody was. Hang on, just 1 second.
Yep.
So what? Give me just 1 minute, and I'll be right back. Okay,
Quick,
so
you want to change seats.
So always the Hocus. Somebody got shot, and always was around. I don't know if someone told him that what was going on, but someone in town had been shot by Mercer, and I went in to help them out, and always lent a hand, and therefore I really trust always. Always is sometimes kind of weird with her gender swapping, but honestly, all that matters to me is they helped save a life. So always HX +2. Wolf has been here beside me and has seen everything that I have seen. We've both been in Mercer's Rise. We've both seen some of the weird stuff going on. We've both seen what happens when Mercer is upset, and so Wolf and I have kind of know what's been going on here in Mercer's Rise. So Wolf, HX +2, and then one of you, I figure, is doomed to self-destruction. And I think it's going to be. Jeremy. Jeremy, I think your complacency is dooming you to self-destruction. You're too willing to go with the flow, and not really step up. And I think that's gonna get you in trouble with when the revolution comes. So you get -1 with me. Everybody else gets +1. I'm an open book, a brutal, sadistic, meat cleaver wielding open book.
Kyle +1.
And I gotta go help my kids real quick.
Okay.
So I'll be right back. Don't be afraid to make bonds with me though. So.
Good to go. Good to go.
While I'm gone.
All right, and finally, we have Jeremy, the Savvy Head. It's your turn.
All right. Well, I think Always is the strangest one of the group, so he gets a +1 from me. He actually stands out enough for me to actually pay attention to him. Everyone else I just kind of ignore, so everyone else gets a -1.
Cool.
And I am going to say that one of my things I can do on others' turns is choose the character whose soul I've seen. Whatever number that player tells me, ignore it. Write HX +3 next to that character's name instead. And Jeremy, the fact that you actually take an interest in Always is enough of your attention focused on them to really just look right through you and into the heart of who you are and what you're about. So I'm writing +3 next to you.
Very cool.
Okay.
And I think that's for background's sake, I think we come to you for music, brother. because we got all these like we've got like jukeboxes and boomboxes and CD players and stuff, and we gotta we've got to keep them working, and none of us have the first clue how to do that stuff.
Absolutely, dance party in the garage.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Has somebody got a spreadsheet where all these are where all the HXs are listed out?
You just need to know your HX with other people.
Yeah.
Can I repeat the question?
It gets pretty complicated, but the important thing is next to everybody else's name, you should have your number, right? So you have between -1 and +3 with each other character.
I've got -2s.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, between -3 and +3.
Yeah.
Can folks give me what theirs are for me?
-1.
Well, hold on, Malcolm?
+4.
Wolf?
+3.
Always? Oh, it stepped away.
Mine with you is +2. You can't do +4.
Yeah.
It tops out at +3.
Yeah, we'll deal with that.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Carmela?
I think I've got 0 with you.
And Jeremy?
-1.
All right, so now I'm supposed to do something with that.
No. You don't have to worry about other people's numbers in general.
All right.
You just have to worry about your HX with them. That's from you going to the other people. That's all you care about.
So the only one
for them to you, it's just like whatever. You don't really care about that.
So it's Edwin. I had the HX +2, and then for Savvy had the HX -1. So,
Yeah,
but this
sure.
says at the end, find the character with the highest HX on your sheet. Ask that player which of your stats is most interesting and highlight it. The MC will
so-
have you highlight second
That's the
step.
next step.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
Other people would have told you everyone else gets 0 or everyone else gets 1, and you probably didn't write those down. That's my guess.
Oh, okay. So let's see. So let's go real quick. So for Malcolm, if he didn't give you a certain number, then just write -1, I believe. For Wolf, the Gunlugger, what does it say?
0.
You just have 0 with him unless you already have something there. Dr. Elephant, +1, right? For everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For Always, if you don't have a number for them, just write. Let's see.
It's 0 for me.
0.
0. Okay. For Carmela the Angel, it's -1.
1 for me.
Oh,
Or
+1.
plus
+1.
one.
Sorry. The Angel's an open book. That's right. And for Jeremy, if there's no other number there, just make it -1.
They might be other numbers. I didn't jot them down. So
Okay.
I
Well,
was-
don't worry about it too much.
I was
It's all
skimming
good.
through the PDF that you sent.
So if I gave him a +3, it's now +2 because of the -1.
No, 'cause
Correct.
You replace the number.
Oh,
So
I
you
replace-
just ignore the number that he gave you and do your own thing instead. That's kind of how the brainer works. Is like, regardless of what they want, you read people's minds anyway.
Right.
yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a distinction there between give it +1 or give it -1 and write HX = 3.
And I can't go
Yeah.
over 3,
So yeah,
It tops out at
which
3.
is a shame because I had 2 of you at 4.
yeah. For character creation, it shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be possible to go above that. It is in play, in which case it wraps around and you get XP and stuff. But we'll go into that later. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, so yes. The next step is highlighting stats. So how this works is you will get experience by rolling, by using moves that make you roll plus a certain stat, right? And which stat that is determined by, you're going to look at the person that you have the highest, or whoever has the highest number with you, I think, it should be you just have to refer to your own sheet. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just look at who you have the highest number with, and they get to pick a stat that they want to see you use this session, right? And then I, as the MC, get to pick a stat that I want to see you use a lot. And to be nice to somebody, you just highlight whatever their highest stat is, right? Because then it's easy for them to get XP, and they don't have to suffer the consequences. If you want to be mean to somebody, you highlight their lowest stat, and they can still do it. It's just more risky because they're going to fail or bad things will happen to them. So just to save time here, because I want to get to actually playing this a little bit, you're going to highlight whatever your highest stat is. So if you have a +2 or +3 somewhere, that's going to be highlighted. And anytime you do an associated move with that stat, you're going to mark XP. And then I'm going to go around and pick a stat for that I'm most interested in for each person. So the brainer, you should highlight
Weird.
weird, and I want to see cool from you as well.
Okay.
Wolf.
I have hard as the highest.
Got hard, yeah, and then let's see as well. Let's see sharp too.
Okay.
Dr. Elefant, the operator. What's the operator's highest thing?
Cool is +2, which doesn't really make sense to me, but.
Cool. You're cool cucumber, man. You're
But
you know
you
how
would
to
think
deal.
you'd think that the ability to manipulate or to read a person would have been higher than wanting to do something well under a firefight.
Oh,
It's not necessarily under a firefight, it's just under pressure. So you
Yes,
could be in
yeah.
a tense situation, or you could be like interrogating someone or playing good cop, bad cop, and then you're just like, you're keeping cool when they're giving you the answers you don't like.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, doing something under fire means literal fire and metaphorical. So,
Okay.
so you're just, in general, you're very cool, level-headed. You can think and do things even under pressure.
Gotcha.
Cool.
The lowest is hard. It's a -1.
Yeah. I'll give you sharp as well. Okay, always.
I'm a fucking whacknut, so weird is my highest.
Yes. I reckon.
And in the game.
And I'm gonna give you hot as well.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
I took the replacement move for hot, so I'm not actually going to be rolling on hot to manipulate people. I'm going to be rolling on weird.
Fair enough. In that case, let's see the fucking whacknot get in somebody's face, and I'll let you do hard.
Okay.
And Carmela,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. As an angel, you probably have
Sharp.
Oh, sharp. All right.
Yeah.
Sharp, and let's highlight weird for you as well.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yes. Obvious play. All right, and Jeremy.
Okay, my highest are sharp and weird. They're both +2.
Sharp and weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead,
I've got the replacement move where I roll against weird instead of cool when I do something under fire.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and do sharp and weird. That's fine. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool.
we've got to, at least once during this session, roll against one or both of those. Is that?
No, so
Every
you don't
time
have
that
to.
we
Yeah.
Yeah, every time that we do roll those, we get experience. So basically, because those are highlighted, it's an incentive to read a sitch or read a person if you're sharp. Or since I've got a highlight on weird, it's an incentive to open up my brain to the psychic maelstrom, because every time I do it, regardless of whether I pass or fail, I get experience. And so that's kind of, it helps move you forward, telling you what you want to do, what the GM wants to see during the game.
Gotcha.
Right. Cool. Yes. So, yeah, you don't have to do anything, right? But if you do, there's incentives for you there. Okay. So since we are running behind on time, kind of, I'm loath to take a break, but I think we should anyway. And let's, grab a drink of water or get some food or something, and let's meet back here in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll kick it off with a cool starting situation. All right.
Jeremy, real quick, I was out of the room when you did your HX. Did you give me anything?
-1.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, I'm good.
All right. And if you have any questions for me or any problems or anything you want to talk about, just hit the chat, or you can message me in a text hangout or whatever, and we can work it out. All right. Cool.
Cool. 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm back.
I have to say I'm still confused about the whole HX thing. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure which of these I'm supposed to be keeping track of. Like Malcolm, you have me as a -1, I think.
It's what we gave you.
I'm sorry, you're talking to me. I'm sorry, I was reading something. What did you say?
Oh no, I'm trying to. So Malcolm gave me -1, Wolf 0, always 0, Carmela +1, Jeremy -1.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm -1 towards you. Or
that doesn't matter. Yeah, that doesn't matter. To him, it doesn't matter. It matters to you.
All right. But for you, for me, you're +3.
Right. Yeah, it is confusing, and even more confusing with 6 players. So sorry about that. But it basically it's just a way where you tell on your turn, you tell everybody how well they know you, and maybe there's some special cases there, and then on other people's turns, you can modify how well you know other people. So in the Brainer's case, he knows some people very well, so he just ignores whatever they say and say, I know you, right? Whereas on your turn, like, you might say, oh, I generally know people very well, or so you might give +1 to whatever everybody else says. Or like the Savvy Head, for example, generally doesn't know people, just ignores people. So he modifies other people's stuff accordingly.
But how do HXs actually come into play during the game?
Yes, so when you want to help somebody or hinder somebody if they're doing something you don't like, you actually roll plus HX with them. So you roll plus whatever your HX number is with them on your side, and if you roll well, then you can choose to either help them or hinder them and make their rolls harder or easier.
I think I understand all the other ones, but define weird to me a little bit more. Like, I'm trying to understand the concept of weird. What am I?
So,
like, I get hard is like I'm physically assaulting you, or I'm helping you, maybe lift you out of the gutter or something like that. I get cool. Yeah. But what is weird exactly?
So really, in Apocalypse World, the stats themselves are kind of ill-defined, kind of just vague. But where they're really defined is in what moves they let you do, right? And the associated moves. So weird is just kind of in general dealing with the supernatural stuff and the psychic stuff, and it's open to interpretation a little bit, but. If you look at the move Open Your Brain, which is one of the basic moves, that says when you open your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom, you roll plus weird, and on a hit, the MC will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation, and might ask you a question or two. And on a 10 plus, you will get good detail, or it might just be an impression.
Right, so it helps. I get that it helps me with my powers, but like,
yes.
I'm trying to think of.
Right, and for you as a brainer, right, you have some special moves that go off weird. So your how good you are at your weird stat is how good you are at like manipulating this psychic maelstrom and getting information from it, right? Yeah. Does that give you an idea? It's kind of like how good you are at psychically understanding people and reading their mind and convincing them to do stuff. And that's what weird's all about.
Because when it comes right down to it, the entire world is broken, and it's not just because we live in a desert and because society has fallen apart and we are running low on water and everything. Something is broken within the human subconscious right now. Everyone is kind of taking part in this psychic storm that's just on the backside of your vision. You can almost see it if you look over your shoulder when you look in a mirror. Something is wrong. Something is broken here, and the world that we just happen to be in just as an accent point to that weird, bizarre psychic magic going on within every human mind.
That's right. So all your pain and your memories and everything is kind of leaking outside of your head a little bit, and other people's pain and weird memories and thoughts and everything is constantly trying to push itself into your brain. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's freaky, man. There's something that's seriously messed up out there.
And weird is kind of the stat that means how good you are at dealing with that or understanding that.
Okay.
Or accepting it, you know?
Yeah. And so one of the basic moves is open your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom. So you can deliberately let this thing in to your head, and maybe it'll show you something. It might just mess you up, though. So, yeah. Cool. So is everybody here? Everybody ready?
I'm ready to go.
Do we have Wolf as well?
No, I'm here.
Cool. All right. So how this is going to work, I'm going to kind of set a little bit of a scene, but mostly I'm just going to sort of ask you like where you are, what you're doing, what's going on in the town, and we're just going to see kind of what a day is like for your character in Mercer's Rise, or like around Mercer's Rise kind of deal.
Did we say just how big Mercer's Rise is?
Yeah, it's about 150 people live here, but it's a little bit. It's not exactly steady, right? People are leaving sometimes, and new people are coming, and there's merchants going back and forth. But it's around 150 residents, so it's fairly large hardhold as towns go in the apocalypse. I think it is about mid-morning right now in Mercer's Rise, and the sun is just about coming up over the big water tower in the middle of Mercer's Rise. And if you were standing on the walls, you could look down and see the big trench on the outside of the walls, and sort of look out, and the land around generally goes down at a gentle slope. And there's a couple of roads leading off in different directions, but it's called Mercer's Rise because it's kind of up, elevated a little bit in this desert area, and that helps keep these jackrabbits away a little bit. Discourages them from approaching too close. So, Wolf, you are approaching. You're coming up to the rise, riding in a old steel car, like one of these heavy, solid cars, which and you've got your guns and everything, and you're protecting this this transport. And there's a couple of old beat up briefcases in the back seat with you, and your clients, or somebody has hired you to protect them and drive them. They're sitting in the front seat right now. So we're gonna say that's whoop, let me see here. So that's Foster is the name of the guy who hired you, who's driving the thing. And
so, is the driver the person I'm protecting, or the driver hired me to protect stuff?
He hired you to protect stuff, and also him. Should it come to that, he's kind of like this merchant, Foster, and you are about just less than half a mile outside. You're like a quarter mile outside of town as they're driving up, and you're passing this wreck, this burned out sort of husk of another car that's abandoned on the side of the road, and stepping out from behind this wreck, as you drive past, you recognize Kendra Andrews, the merchant who had hired you previously. And she is holding a some kind of device in her hand, which she chucks right in front of your car. And as the car hits it, it expands and like drives this spike right through, like up through the left side of the engine, and the car, skids to a halt. And Kendra looks like she's about to, walk up to the car. And what do you do?
So my first action is to take a quick 360 and look around for whatever sorts of ambushers might also be in the area. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to basically lean over the front seat and push Foster down on the chair there, on the bench seat. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen here.
Right
on.
on.
I wouldn't even open my brain to the world's psychic maelstrom under fire, if that is an appropriate action to be doing in this case.
Wow. Okay. Well, so let me give you the option.
Tell me, yeah.
There's also looking around. To me, that says you are reading a sitch, right? It's one of the basic moves. Is just read the sitch, which just look around and you get to ask questions about like where is my enemy and stuff like that.
So one of my moves is Battlefield Instincts, which is what I was thinking of. I'm happy to read a sitch if that seems more appropriate. I just don't know what Battlefield Instincts is otherwise.
Let me see real quick. What does that say? It says, when you open your brain to the World Psychic Maelstrom, roll plus hard instead of plus weird, but only in battle. Yeah, absolutely. That would work. All right. So opening your brain is going to give you kind of a different. It's kind of at my whim, what you're able to pick out from this thing. But absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and roll for that. So you can roll 2d6 and add your card.
All right, so that's 9 plus 3 is 12.
Boom. All right. And open your brain says, on a 10 plus you get, or on a hit, I'll tell you something new and interesting about the current situation. And on a 10 plus, it's a good detail. So you understand what you're seeing and it's clear. And so you let the maelstrom into your mind, and it's quite shocking and painful at first, and then it just snaps into clarity, and you get this picture of a sniper team. One guy's got binoculars, and although you can't see exactly where he's looking and everything, you just get the impression, like in a dream, that he's looking at the car, at you, right? And the guy next to him is holding a long-range rifle, and you know exactly where these guys are, and you know that they are actually out to kill Foster, and they do not care about the stuff, the briefcases that he's holding. And do you let's see, you recognize this team. Maybe you've seen them before. What do they like? They how should I say this? They've shot at you once before. So what was that situation that these guys shot at you?
It was It was business. It was fine. They had been hired, and this may be a similar case actually, but they had been hired to prevent some information from getting to Mercer. And in that particular case, I had been taking information about a potential aquifer out in the desert to Mercer, and they didn't want Mercer to get any more power. And so they failed to keep me from getting through. But surprisingly, they're still alive.
Nice. Yep. Cool. So,
wow.
You see the guy with the rifle sort of taking aim and pulls the trigger, and you hear the gunshot, and at the gunshot, boom, you snap back to reality, and you hear the bullet ping off the car, and Kendra is still approaching. And so we're gonna cut away from that action for a sec and cut to let's see. Where's Carmela at the moment? Where are you, Carmela, when you hear this gunshot just outside of town?
Well, I was just thinking, is Foster's delivering stuff? What if he's delivering me some medical supplies I ordered?
Yes.
So I've been up last night late. Somebody was injured on a raiding party coming in pretty late last night from the bunnies, and I've been treating them out on the wall, which, added bonus, I get to watch who's ever making my shipment come in the morning. So I've got some binoculars I borrowed from someone on the wall, and I'm watching this go down when because I don't see the snipers, I just see the car stall, and some lady is approaching the car with my goods in them, and then there's a bullet, and I'm just pissed. And so I radio into Shigusa and Mox at my infirmary and say, I need you to prep this, be ready to go, because someone's shooting, and I've got to go secure my goods.
Okay, right on. So you're sort of standing on the wall, and you're gonna climb down and head out there?
I'm actually I'm gonna grab one of the soldiers and say, someone else who's guarding the wall, and say, I need you to get me a car or a bike or something to get out there, and I need it now. So I'm actually, and I've got my hand on my meat cleaver, so I'm kind of holding. Hang on. That's not seize by force. Hang on. That's seduce or manipulate, really, huh? So I'm trying to manipulate them and say.
Okay. Well, it could be seduce or manipulate. It could be go aggro. It depends on if you're willing to follow through on this threat, right? If you're actually going to chop a hand off if he doesn't do it, then that's go aggro, right? You're trying to change his behavior. If you're just threatening him and hoping that he'll do it and believe you, then it's manipulating.
I'm willing to follow through. I'm totally willing to follow through. So I'm gonna go aggro and see if he's either gonna force my hand, because everybody knows that I cut hands off. I mean, that's what the cleaver is for.
That's true. So this guy.
Right. So no pun intended in terms of forcing your hand?
Yes. That's right. So this guy, let's see here, is of course. This guy's called Kettle, and you've seen him around. He's one of Mercer's gang, cool. He's got it's kind of what you call it, like a nickname for him, because he's got this dark skin. And you get.
So I'm like, Kettle, I got to get out there. I got to get out there fast. And you're going to help me. You're going to either get me a car, get me a driver, or get me a frickin' bike.
All right. Yeah, you get the sense that Kettle is probably not going to stand in your way, but go ahead and roll for it. And
7 plus my... Oh, crap, that's going to be...
7
plus my hard, 8. So 8.
All right. So on a 7 and 9, they can...
They can choose to get the hell out of my way.
Yeah, force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want, or they can choose one of these other things instead. And I think they're going to... Kettle will say... he'll take a step back, right, and he'll put a hand sort of towards his gun a little bit, like but you get the sense he's just trying to defend himself here. He says, all right, you can use here, use this car, and he goes over and like somebody's car who's like parked near the gate, some merchant or something. He's like, all right, Mercer needs this car, quick, and he basically
requisitions a car for me.
Confiscates it for you.
I say thank you kindly, Kettle, and if you want to come by, you can get an extra shot of vodka later tonight. I appreciate it. You get to keep your hands today. And I get in the car and I start driving out there.
All right. Cool. Let's add in the chicken with Malcolm, the brainer. So I'm gonna say you kind of
sorry.
You notice almost immediately when this gunshot goes off, you notice Mercer, the boss guy, the hard holder here. He starts asking his gang like what's going on. He starts moving towards it, right? And where are you? What are you doing as he starts making this move?
Okay, so I'm confused. Are we all outside seeing this happening?
No, you're somewhere in the town, but you just heard.
And
this
we're
gunshot.
psychically. Oh, okay.
You just hear the gunshot, right?
But I know Mercer. I'm confused now. How's the Mercer here? Is Mercer in the room with me, or?
So I just assume that you're watching Mercer somehow. You're like keeping an eye on him, right?
Okay.
So let me set the scene a little more. Mercer is at this point he's kind of out in the merchant area in the middle of town, kind of out in the open a little bit, and he's got a couple of his gang members around him. So you've got Mercer and Bill and Crine, who are kind of his main lieutenants here, and they're standing around, kind of watching the coming and going of merchants and different people, and he hears this gunshot go off just outside of town, and
is that something uncommon, or that just seems like something that happens every day, wouldn't it?
It's a little uncommon. It's somewhat uncommon.
Okay.
It's a potential threat to the town, and Mercer knows there's like merchants and stuff coming in, so he wants to avoid any trouble on this day. Yes, and we'll get to the operator next, I think. So so Kettle, one of his soldiers, basically comes running up and is like, there's trouble to the west. There's looks like Foster's getting ambushed out there, and you overhear this, right? So what are you doing in this merchant area, and how are you overhearing this?
Well, if I'm with him because he was just telling me there was somebody he needs information extracted from, and this gunshot went off. Can I, with my abilities, kind of tap in and know what's happening? Or that's not something I'm So everybody like the other guy was able to see what was going on, right?
Right.
That's why
he decided to open his brain to the maelstrom, and you could also do that, but it's risky, right? Because the maelstrom is not your friend. It's trying to invade your brain most of the time. But yeah, you could totally do that if you want.
Is Dice Stream to roll dice in here? I've never seen Dice Stream before.
Yeah, you can. You should be able to add Dice Stream here. I'll open it up and it should prompt you like, hey, this guy.
I got it.
Dice Stream.
Yeah. What dice do we use in this game?
So it's always
2d6.
It's always 2d6.
Oh, okay.
You add a thing. Yep.
Okay. What do I have? I have my weir onto the dice roll. Is that what I do?
There you go. Okay. Yes, correct.
Okay. And then I'm trying to read this. +2. I'm guessing that's how to do it. Oh no, that's not how to do it. Okay, so 5, 7.
7. Okay. Cool. So so you open your brain up, and you're gonna get some information, but it's gonna be kind of unclear and fuzzy because you didn't roll a 10+, right?
Okay.
So, let's see. You get the sense that you don't get any impression about this gunshot, this single gunshot, but you get the sense of a bunch of animals sort of swarming somewhere nearby the town.
I see this as not necessarily figuratively. It's like some kind of visionary.
Yes. Yeah. You just get the unclear impression. It's not like a vision or anything. It's just like you just have a feeling that there's a big swarm of animals somewhere like within a mile, right? And it's like it's a very bad feeling. It's like ominous kind of deal. Cool. Yeah. So what do you do? You're just gonna follow Mercer?
I keep quiet. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So he's like walking past the town, and he actually tells Kettle to go get Dr. Fant, and bring him quick. And Kettle goes running off. And speaking of Dr. Fant, where are you on this fine morning?
I'm up on the wall watching to make sure that the shipment that I know is important to Mercer is going to get in with no problems. I mean, yes. I need the guy to I need to make sure I'm in his good graces, and I know that this is important to him, and that all the shipments in and out of shopkeepers and whatever are going smoothly.
Okay, so from up on the wall, you can see sort of toward the market area, and you see Mercer and some of his gang members. In fact, an increasing number of gang members, sort of running up to him with their weapons as he's striding towards you, towards the wall and towards the gate out there. And at the same time, down at the gate, you see Carmela getting into this car, and it looks like she's going to drive out there as well. And out there, you don't know where the shot came from exactly, but you can see that Wolf is out there and maybe in trouble. So what do you do?
Well, I'll certainly let the professionals that are more qualified to deal with firefights go and deal with those while I try and resolve the situation as best as I can from in here. So I start tapping the folks along the wall with my cane. What's going on? What's going on? Mercer has directly asked me to find out exactly what's going on. I need to report to him as I keep looking back and seeing him get closer and closer, and I keep patting more and more sweat off of my forehead. So
Yeah.
I'm I guess I'm trying to find the most expeditious way to gather whatever limited intelligence there is, whether
Yeah,
it's
so-
just folks making random guesses, anything that I'll be able to provide to Mercer.
Cool. Yeah, so you run into
Is that reading a sitch?
yeah, could be. You run into Shan, and she says, looks like that Kendra has a score to settle. That's what it looks like to me. And Shan it looks pretty unconcerned. In stark contrast to you, she's just standing there, arms crossed, kind of looking out. She's not moving to help or anything. She's just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna stand here. Yeah, you can absolutely read the stitch if you want to.
Sure. So I've got 2 6s, so I got a 2 and a 6.
Okay, and
And my
this you add sharp.
sharp is +1. So a 9.
Doop-a-doop. Okay, cool. So you get to ask one question from this list of the read a stitch moves. So
What page is that?
that's page 33, I think.
Here we go.
Where's my best escape route? Which enemy is most vulnerable to me? Which enemy is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my enemy's true position? And who's in control here?
Oh.
And keep in mind that these, while I'll tell you the truth, you can only find out stuff that your character could know about, right? So with reading a sitch, you get more specific information, and you get to choose what questions you ask, but it's limited to your own perceptions, right? Whereas in contrast to Open Your Brain, which is not limited to your own perceptions, but it's kind of up to me what the Maelstrom is going to show you.
What's my enemy's true position would be of use if I guess if I was trying to direct fire. Who's in control here? I probably wouldn't have any idea. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, what should I be on the lookout for?
No, I mean, just keep in mind, if you ask who's in control here, he's got to answer honestly. That's how the rules work.
I'll give you your best guess at it is kind of an interesting question, because is it Mercer is in control, or is it Kendra is in control, or Carmela, or who, right? It's kind of ambiguous right now. So that could be an interesting question, and you could have a pretty decent idea, but it's up to you.
But who's in control of this specific situation?
Yes.
Is that what that means?
Basically, yeah.
The way I'm reading it is Mercer's not, because he's got all of his guys wandering, coming up to him, weapons drawn. I'd rather ask, what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay, fair enough. So you should be on the lookout. So you're no expert when it comes to military tactics and that, but just looking out at the car, you can see in the distance there that it's just one person. It's just Kendra walking up to this car, and it's not much of an ambush, right? From what you can tell. So it looks like Wolf is and Foster in this deal, it should be no big deal, right? So there's probably something else going on here. There's probably some other people somewhere that are gonna bust out and do something. So you should watch out for the people that Kendra's working with, or some other, maybe this is just a distraction, right, for something else. As to what that might be, who knows? Maybe there's some other important thing.
That the person walking up to the car is the distraction?
Right.
I'm sort of confused.
Yes. Well, this whole ambush, is not a real ambush, as far as you can tell, right? It's like when you ambush a merchant, you bring 20 guys and you fucking start shooting, and then you take their stuff, right? But this is like one person just stepped out behind a car, stopped the car, and is now about to get mowed down or something, right? Like it's not a real threat. So where's the real threat? Does that make sense?
Oh, shit. Is there anyone approaching Mercer that I don't recognize or that I've ever had suspicions about?
Okay. There's a lot of people around Mercer right now, so it's kind of hard to tell. So how are you gonna? I mean, you don't know everybody in the Hardhold necessarily. So there's merchants going back and forth. There's some of his soldiers are running around. There's it's basically, I don't know. How are you going to figure that out?
Well, I would guess that this, based on my mindset, that this would be sort of under, like you were saying, under fire doesn't necessarily mean literally under fire, but I'm trying to very quickly put together what's going on. I mean, not spidey sense, but I'm sort of just trying to very quickly scan the crowd around him. How far away from me is he?
So at this point, he's just like 300 feet away or so. He's rapidly coming up to sort of your position on the wall, pretty much near this gate.
And there's sort of chaos and mayhem starting to brew around him.
Yeah, well, you get the clear picture that he's surrounded by several of his gang members who are walking with him on the way. So he looks pretty safe in that sense because he's got a bunch of guys around him who are going to shoot stuff.
Is there anyone moving toward him who looks moving slower than the general crowd around him?
Oh, okay. You can't really tell, man. You can't really tell. So the thing is, you already did the read a sitch, and you ask your question, and that's it, right? So until the situation changes, or until you get some new information somehow, or do something, right? Then you can try again, right?
Well, then I think the best thing to do would be to walk down, start moving toward Mercer to apprise him of my suspicion that this isn't that this is a distraction.
Cool. All right, we're gonna cut away, and go to Jeremy real quick and check in with the Savvy Head over here. So while all this stuff is going on, and you're not necessarily in the middle of it or anything, but where's Jeremy on this fine morning above Mercer's Rise as the sun is coming up here? It's mid-morning. Had your breakfast. What are you working on today?
Mercer's got a few armored vehicles, and he asked me to check them out, make sure they're in good working shape. Apparently, he's planning something.
Nice. All right, and cool. And you've got your workshop. Where is that? Is that right in the middle of town? Where all the merchants and stuff are? Or is it off somewhere towards the edge of town or something?
It's sort of toward the back of town. You have to go through the town from the main entrance to get to it. It's sort of the less desirable part of Mercer's Rise.
Cool.
And I actually haven't even heard the gunshots because I've got the music playing full blast.
Right on. And let's see, always.
Did someone say music full blast?
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of, he said party in the garage. I kind of like the idea that we hang out on the roof. That's our place where we gather and, because he's got electricity, he plays music in the garage and he's got to play it loud enough that it works over his grinders and, circular saws and all that kind of stuff. And
this
so
is another reason why I'm in the less desirable part of town.
Yeah, because it make a lot of noise. But I kind of like the idea that we just have kind of when we haven't set up an event somewhere else, there's kind of a semi-permanent rave going on his on the roof of the garage.
So I'm picturing this is like a kind of a mechanic shop or like an auto body place with like a bunch of different garage bays, right? So you've got like 3 different bays with various vehicles parked in them, and then on the roof of this thing, you know, the music is like blasting out of the open garage doors and up onto the roof, and there's this
because it's going to have like a big flat roof and stuff like that. So you know, we probably set up like tarps and stuff like that to, you know, whatever to. Well, no, there's not going to be any rain. It's the desert, so we probably sleep up there.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, there's rain occasionally, but yeah, you're right. Not very often.
That's when like gold rains from heaven. Everyone's got buckets.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. And let's see. Awesome. So, Jeremy, so what do you tell? Let's see. What do you tell Kettle and Bill, 2 of Mercer's soldiers, when they come running into your shop and are like, you know, are these things ready yet? Are we good to go?
One of them's completely ready. I finished working on it. The other 2. They've got parts spread around the shop because, I mean, I've been checking them out. I've been taking stuff out and cleaning it. So there's one that they can just drive off the lot with. The others will take about half an hour to get ready.
Okay. So Kettle is he's gonna hop into one of them and close the door, start it up, and back out at like full speed. And you get the sense that there's some freaking emergency because he's just, you know, peels out onto the dirt. And Bill, though, he's kind of a taller, skinny guy, and he's gonna hang out and it's like, all right, start putting them together, quick. We're gonna need these as soon as possible.
Okay. So I'm jamming. Yeah, I'm jamming parts in there, but like I said, it's going to take me about half an hour to get any of these things ready. So I'm working as fast as I can.
Okay, turn off that freaking music, will you? I said turn off the music.
I worked faster with music. Besides, I don't have time to get out from under this car and turn off the music. So,
all right.
I mean,
Bill goes over to this stereo and starts pressing buttons and shit until it's and you know, he can't figure it out. So he just like starts jamming it and finally you know, it turns off.
And there's a noise like from somebody slamming on the roof.
Yeah. All right, man. Bill says, he kind of yells up, it's like, what?
Why did you turn the music off?
Shut up, kid.
And so, so we're gonna go, assuming no answer, but assuming that nothing else that was me. Yes, yeah, that was me. Assuming nothing else extraordinary happens in the next couple of minutes, we come walking in to the garage, kind of the whole gang of us, in our tuxes and dresses and all this kind of stuff and everything. I posted a picture of what I look like up here, with the purple sequins and stuff like that.
It's tough to accessorize that outfit, I'm not gonna lie.
And
post a picture where? I'm sorry.
What's that?
Where did you post a picture?
On the side, on the sidebar. There's a group chat sidebar.
Yeah.
It's the one with androgyny in the.
Oh, I see.
In the title there, that JPEG. Yeah. Just take a look at that, and that's what always looks like. Right now, the second as they come walk through the garage. And I've got a crowd of kids. My gang is about 20 people, so this is like we're kind of like just sort of like starting to kind of crowd into the garage and stuff like this, and
I'm gonna interrupt you real quick because there's a. It's
Yeah.
actually a start of session move that the Hocus has, I believe. So you need
Oh, okay,
to-
sure. I thought we were just gonna elide that, but I can go ahead and make that.
Yeah, go ahead and do that now.
I've got Fortune +1, and my dice are showing. My dice are showing an 11 there.
Nice. All right.
So
you're
that gives me a 12. So I'm in surplus,
Yeah, your followers are good to go.
which means we are plus party
All right.
and plus plus
growth.
party and plus growth.
All right,
So
man.
like we're like So I'm just gonna kind of walk up to him, and like squint and kind of cock my head and say, "Wow, you! Has anyone ever told you you have like the most amazing bone structure? You should come up and dance with us. Seriously, I'm not kidding. I mean it."
I'm busy right now. Now stop
No.
distracting the mechanic.
Hey, sorry, kryptonite with names.
Bill,
Uh,
his name.
is Jeremy, right?
Mhm.
Jeremy the Savvy Head?
Yeah.
Jerry, how long is that going to take?
Half an hour.
Half an hour? Oh my god, we can do so much dancing in half an hour. Look, he's not going to get done, and look, let me tell you, I know he doesn't perform well if you're, like, watching him. So, really, you should come upstairs with us, seriously. I'm not kidding.
Oh man.
What
Right,
do you guys think? And I turned to the crew, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you guys think?
And they're like, yeah. Come
Totally.
dance with us. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Totally.
We're like ready to go, man. We've got we've even got some alcohol. And they're like totally on your side trying to convince them like it'll be great. This is going to
Seriously?
take
When is the last time you went to like a real party?
Yeah, so this is going to be definitely a seduce roll. to get this guy.
When I use weird when I try to manipulate people, so I'm gonna roll on that. So I got a 6, but that gives me a +3. 6 + 3, so that puts me at 9. So
Okay.
if there were someone in the room that could help me, they could maybe bump that to a 10.
Okay, well, let's see. I could conceive of, yeah. I mean, I can help you persuade him that I would work better. So let me see what my role is.
Okay.
Okay, I got let's see. Oh,
So for this, he's
I've
just
got
rolling.
yeah, I've got a 7, but I'm actually a -1 with him. So
Oh, okay.
that comes down to it. That
No!
drops me down to a 6.
Your history with me is -1, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got really poor numbers for just
That's
about
so
everyone.
funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got
Jeremy isn't a
I've
people
got-
person. He's a technology.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got -2, -2, -1, 0, and
That's so
+1.
funny.
So
All right.
okay, so
Cool. So when you help her interfere, you can give them a +1 or a -2, your choice, but you also expose yourself to fire, danger, retribution, or cost. And actually, since you rolled a miss, it's just totally up to me what becomes of you.
right.
But a 9 to convince this guy and seduce him into doing what you want is good enough that they'll do it. But
I think I have to offer him a promise right now, right?
He's gonna ask you to promise. All right, I'll come party, but Mercer cannot find out that I was up there with you guys. All right.
Oh my god. No way. No, we don't tell Mercer anything.
All right. All right. Good.
Like Mercer.
Don't-
Mercer.
Keep that weirdo Malcolm, you got to keep him away from me, right? Because he'll find out that I was up there.
Um, um, Malcolm is a creep, and we don't have anything to do with Malcolm.
Okay. Okay.
You are
Very
so
good.
right. Oh my God, this one time, and I kind of put an arm around his shoulder and start kind of directing him out of the garage as I'm
Yeah.
totally dishing gossip on Malcolm to him.
Nice, nice. And one of your followers goes over and smacks the stereo back on, and you head upstairs. Cool. Let's jump to back out onto the desert. So, Wolf, you're out there alone. You've got Foster and his buddy, who is you've picked up. His name is Mill.
Oh, so
Foster-
there's someone else in the car with
Mill-
us? There's three of us in the car?
Yeah, sorry, they're in the front seat, and then you're in the back
Okay.
with the goods.
Okay.
And Foster's sort of ducked down to avoid this bullet coming in, this shooter, and Mill is like an idiot trying to get out of the car and run away, and he's going to be just a sitting duck out there if he leaves the car. Right? There's just a slight rise up here. There's like little bushes and stuff around, but most of that shit is gnawed down by these jackrabbits. When they can't find meat, they'll just eat whatever, and it's a long way. It's like it's going to take them at least a minute to run all the way to the gates. So he's just going to be out in the open if he leaves the car. Meanwhile, Kendra is approaching the car. She doesn't seem to have a weapon in hand right now, but she's walking up very confidently. What do you do, man?
Well, I don't actually care much about Mill. He's not my client. He's just some guy. I care about Foster and I care about the briefcases. But if Mill opens the door, then Kendra is going to be able to get access to the car. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about trying to deal with this sniper. So what I would like to do is launch myself into the front seat, and then so I'm basically lying on top of both of them, and get a leg lock on Mill and try to shoot up towards the sniper wherever they came from. So I'm looking for the sniper while I'm wrestling Mill with my legs.
Nice. You're going to use.
Yes. Yes.
Hold him down. All right. Cool. Right on. Yeah, and you have a perfect idea where these snipers are. You know exactly where they are, out in the sort of behind some bushes out there. Some of these little clumps of grass, tall like wheat-like grass, and and you just hold Mill in place, and you're not. How are you dealing with Kendra, if at all?
I don't care about her at the moment.
Okay, cool.
Because the doors are locked, and yeah.
So this is actually a case, I believe, of go aggro, right? Because you're trying to get the sniper to stop shooting at you, or otherwise just kill them, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna go ahead and roll plus hard.
Okay.
See if you can convince them to do that.
All right.
And what weapon do you have, by the way?
What weapon don't I have?
Oh, okay.
So I have a sniper rifle, which is silenced. I have a shotgun. I have a Magnum.
Okay, cool.
And I have many knives.
Right, so you're using
The rifle is far, and I'm assuming the snipers are far, so I'm returning fire with fire.
Sweet.
That is a 7 plus 3. You said it's a hard. Yeah, 7 plus 3 is 10.
All right. So you force them to choose either force your hand and suck it up and just take the shots, or they can, basically take cover and stop shooting at you, right? And you know what? They're gonna make you do it. They're just gonna keep firing despite the danger. So how much harm does your rifle do?
3.
3. Okay, cool. And you've got the perfect sight on these guys, and so silenced sniper fighters just pop. Not very loud at all, like except maybe to Mill, who's like right under it.
Yeah.
And the sniper drops, but he gets a shot off that just ricochets off the car.
All right.
And it kind of it's just a couple feet away from where it needed to be.
So there was the shooter and there was a spotter, right? And I got the shooter,
that's right.
And so I'm not worried yet about the spotter.
That's right.
Okay.
So while you're doing this, Kendra walks up and like tries to open the door, the driver's side door that Foster's sitting right next to. She tries the door, and then finding it locked, she just yells through the window. And she actually yells your name. She's like, "Wolf! Wolf! Cease fire!"
I just took one shot, so that's fine. I only needed one.
Okay, you're gonna stop for a moment and listen to her.
Yeah.
She says, "Listen, just give me Foster, and you can have the stuff. You can have his shipment. Just open this door."
You know I don't work like that. I finished my mission. If I'm being paid.
Okay. So she pulls out from her pocket. She pulls out just a plain old wrench, and whoop. Okay, cool. Thanks, Brian. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Sorry we didn't get a lot of spotlight time.
That's all right. I enjoyed it.
Cool, man.
Maybe,
Thanks.
yeah.
Fun.
All right. So, yeah, Kendra reaches into her pocket, pulls out this wrench, and just smashes the window out, right? And reaches in and tries to grab Foster out from under you and like yank him through the window, right?
Okay.
And Foster's like grabbing onto anything, grabbing onto you, grabbing onto the car. He's like resisting as much as he can and like fighting. But she is pretty clearly stronger than him and yanking him through the window. So about this time, Carmela, you pull up to this scene and you can see Kendra is trying to yank this guy out of the window. And what do you do?
Okay, so I floor it, and I'm getting ready to hit her because I know Foster's the guy with the goods. I know that all I know is that she's endangering the stuff that I'm getting, and as far as I know, she doesn't know I'm coming. So I slam the pedal to the metal, and I'm getting ready to really close sideswipe and hit her, hopefully without bringing Foster out with her.
Okay, well she can hear the car coming as well, and she's like trying to yank it. And as you get closer, she will try to dive out of the way. But you can obviously try to mow her down as you like. So I don't know if there's a move for this or not.
I could be seizing by force because I'm trying to like take control of the situation. Maybe.
Yeah, it seems like except seize by force is more just for like when people are fighting, right? So I think you're just gonna do it, and she can't really fight back or do anything about it at the moment. So.
Well, it could be going aggro because it could be like a game of chicken. Like, is she going to dive out of the way, or is she expecting me to flinch?
That's true.
If I wanted to do that.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds
all right.
Right.
So I'm going aggro, trying to hit her, and oh shoot! So I roll a 5 with plus my hard, which is 1. Oh boy, 6.
Okay,
do I mark
6
experience for a failed roll like that?
You mark experience if Hard is highlighted for you.
Okay. Sorry, I was thinking Dungeon World. Okay, so yeah, I totally fail, which means something bad is going to happen.
Cool. So, she, you kind of scrape along the side of the car, and she lets go and like leaps backwards out of the way as you scrape past, and she will let's see. Yes, she's all right. She's reaches into another pocket, and she's wearing like you notice as you approach, she's wearing like these cargo pants. So she reaches in, sort of opens up one of these other pockets, reaches in and pulls out another small device, and she's gonna chuck that sort of after you as you drive past. And,
this won't be good.
And put it in the road. So, then she goes back. She's just like, "What a bitch!" And goes back to grabbing at Foster and like finally yanks him out. And
can I do something under fire to avoid the thing?
Yeah, you're gonna like circle around and come at her again with the car.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I miss because the spike thing that she just threw, I want to make sure that I missed that. So I pull the e-brake, and I'm attempting to drift around right before I hit it. So I'm trying to turn around and not hit it very quickly.
Okay. Cool.
So
I'm for whatever reason unable to prevent her from pulling Foster from the car. Maybe Mill's got me tangled up or something.
Okay, you are? Cool. Yeah.
Right. I assume I would try to prevent her, but.
Yeah, you can, if you want to try.
Okay, so I got an 8 for doing something cool under fire. So my drift is going to stall, hesitate, or I flinch. I screw this up somehow too. So you get to offer me some other screwed it up choice.
Awesome. You we're going to take it a little literally, and you stall out the car.
Okay.
So you're able to, you avoid the thing, and it doesn't trigger since you don't go over it. It's kind of triggered by like being run over kind of deal, and so it's just this ball sitting there, and you like slide, drift around it, and then the car dies. The engine dies. So you can get it started again, but you're only like 50 feet from Kendra, and so maybe like it's 50-50 if she could like just come over to you or do something to you or whatever, just get out of the way, right? You don't have a lot of space to build up speed or anything.
Okay.
Cool. So so Kendra is grabbing Foster out. Are you going to do anything about that?
I would definitely like to put some of my many knives into her.
Okay, cool. And likewise, she's got this wrench, and she'll just try to, beat you back or whatever. Or sometimes she's like whacking, she'll like have a hand on Foster and kind of like whack at his hands to get him to let go and try to yank him out. And she'll just whack at you or whatever. She's just yanking this guy. So this is going to be seized by force because it's kind of like combat. Both sides are capable of affecting the other.
So I just roll the hard here again?
Yep. Go plus hard.
Okay. That is 11 plus 3.
Sweet. Okay. You get to choose 3 of these options. You take definite hold of it, you suffer little harm, you inflict terrible harm, or you impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy.
Alright, I would definitely like to do the last one. I would like to impress, dismay, or frighten her so that she backs away. She knows she's going to get killed. I would like to take little harm. and I would like to seize control of Foster.
Sweet. Yeah, he's definitely what you're seizing. Cool. You suffer little harm. You impress her, and you got him. All right. So you're able basically to entirely avoid her smacking you with this thing, and she's forced to let go of the guy, and you stab her a couple times, and she's forced to let go. And how much harm do your knives normally do, by the way?
Two.
Two harm? Okay, cool. So you slice up her arms pretty good before she lets go. And she sort of takes a moment to look around. She looks over at the car. She looks at Foster and says, "All right, I didn't want to do this, Wolf." And she reaches into her
Her bag of many things. Her bag of holding.
Another pocket. Yep. Yet another pocket. Pulls out a fucking grenade. Holds down the lever. Pulls out the pen, and she says, "Fucking let him go, or I'll drop this in your car right now." And she yells over to you, Carmela, and says, "Stay in the fucking car."
Can I read her? Can I read to watch her and see if she's really crazy enough to do this?
Absolutely.
All right, roll plus. Oh, jeez. I just rolled double ones. You've got to be freaking kidding me. All right, so I tried to see if she was crazy enough to do it and totally failed completely. But at least I got experience because sharp is good for me.
Yeah. She might be. She very well. She looks pretty serious about this shit. And let's cut back. Meanwhile, to Always and Jeremy fixing up the cars and stuff. Bill is having a good old time, partying down. He's wise enough to stay away from the drinks, because that's a dead giveaway if he's got alcohol in his breath. But he does partake of the water, and he's showing off some dance moves and stuff. He's left his Bill has like a pistol which he's taken off and sort of left on the roof so he can get his groove on. And let me see. Savvy Head, do you have any cool? What moves do you have, Jeremy? Or Jerry, Savvy Head? You're muted as well. Can't hear you, buddy. There you go.
Yeah, I don't have any special moves that apply here. I've got Things Speak, Spooky Intense, my Savvy Head special. But
okay, cool.
I don't see anything that's particular.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
So you're getting these things put back together, and
Okay, I'll say I've slapped something together so that one of them, it's not in perfect condition, but you can drive it. It'll have to be fixed up properly later on,
yeah.
And I've rigged up a hidden tape deck so that I've linked the volume control to the accelerator pedal so that the faster he goes, the louder it plays.
Wow, awesome.
Just because he kind of annoyed me.
That's spectacular.
Cool. All right, man. As you kind of test this thing out a little bit, and it works, and you're getting the other thing put together. You start noticing that something is amiss. You can't really hear anything over the sound of the thing, but you notice as you're you finally pick your head up from underneath the car that people outside, kind of on the street of the town, are they're all grabbing their weapons, and they're heading. They're all running in the same direction, and something is clearly up with these guys. So what do you do?
Well, I yell up to the roof for Bob to get down here that his ride is ready, and
Okay.
I guess I'll hop in the car and see what's going on. I figure the safest place to be is in an armored vehicle, and
Nice.
and I might need to be on hand if something falls off because
Okay, cool.
I'm not absolutely sure how well my patch job will hold up.
Right. And always. So Bill's ride is ready. He's getting ready to leave. He goes for his, gets his weapon back and everything. What are you doing?
So we're all like there's some kind of thing going on or something like that.
Yeah, you can notice as you look down from the roof that all the people are moving to the opposite, to one entrance, and it's actually the
Okay,
opposite
so we're
entrance.
all gathered up here, and I point off and I go, oh my god, no, look at this, you have to see this, you have to see this. I'm saying that to Bill.
What?
No,
I gotta
you
go.
have to. This is my I can't even describe it. My mind is being blown right now.
Oh my God, Kim Kardashian is trending on Twitter.
You have to look at this. I'm seriously, I'm not kidding. You have to see this. Like 2 seconds. This will just take a minute.
Okay.
And then you can go.
Okay. Fair enough. What is he looking at?
He walks up to the edge, or he walks up to look, and kind of the gang kind of forms a little semicircle kind of around him.
Okay.
And we start to kind of move towards him, and I say, no one shuts our music off. And we all kind of surge towards him together, and we're going to shove him off the roof.
Wow. Awesome. He falls off the friggin' roof, and I mean, it's only one story, right? But he's definitely not expecting it, and he's like, he screams as he goes down and just collapses in this heap. And
we all just laugh and go back to the party.
holy shit! All right, he's probably still alive, FYI, but definitely messed up.
We won't fuck with our music again.
All right, yeah. So in that case, there's no real there's no applicable move really. So it just happens, right? And
Okay.
That's fine. Sometimes that stuff just happens that way. Cool. So, cutting back to, what's your name? Oh, Elephant, or Dr. Fant.
For some reason, by the way, my camera seems to have frozen.
Doc.
All right. No worries, man. So Doc, yes, you can see with your keen eyes that while Mercer is arrayed with a bunch of soldiers and stuff at the gate, kind of looking at what's going on out there to the west, on the opposite side of town, there's some commotion, and a couple of dozen people are grabbing their weapons and heading that direction instead. And this is mostly not soldiers, but like just the residents and stuff.
They're grabbing their weapons and moving the opposite direction of where Mercer is?
Yes, they're moving towards the other side of town.
What's on the other side of town?
Don't know yet.
Yeah, as far as you know, it's just more. It's just the road continues that way, and it's kind of more of the same, scrubland and dirt.
Oh, but there's another exit from the town?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
shit.
kind of like this. yeah, the secondary entrance, for going that direction.
Well, I continue to head toward Mercer, constantly mumbling, "This will be okay. This will be okay. The deal's going to be fine. The deal's going to be fine. This will be okay. This will be okay." As I'm getting close to Mercer,
Yeah.
is there a gut check sort of thing in the game, or is it just reading the sitch, or what?
What are you trying to find out? Wait.
The same thing that I was trying to find out when I was up on the wall. Is there anyone moving toward Mercer?
Oh, yeah. So now that you're closer, you can see that he's I'll give you this. There's more. Most people are leaving him alone, except for his gang, who's kind of like also on the lookout. And as you're looking around, you can see that. There is one. There's one merchant who's coming up and like shouting at him and complaining that he wants his fucking car back. But the other than that, most people have kind of like cleared out, because when Mercer comes through, you give him some space. And but as you're looking the opposite direction towards the east, you do notice somebody climbing the water tower as well, and it's not anybody you recognize. And like many people in Mercer Town, they have a gun, which it's like kind of like hanging off their back as they're climbing the ladder towards the top of this water tower, and that strikes you as very suspicious and out of the ordinary. People are not supposed to go up there generally.
Well, and my cane is a shotgun round, so it's not going to have any range up that way. How far away am I from Mercer?
So you're a trusted person, so you can get right up next to him.
But I mean, right now.
Right now, I don't know. You tell me. How close did you get?
I'm at the perimeter of his entourage.
Okay. So there's like 4 people between you and him, ish.
Mercer, the watchtower, or the water tower. Look. Don't worry, the deal will be fine. But up there, there's the problem. My camera's frozen, but I'm pointing up in the direction of the water tower.
Cool.
Up there. Look.
All right.
And I'm saying it as I'm moving between the merchant that's coming in and Mercer's posse, as I have one of my hand, I'm holding my cane, and my other hand reaching toward the what's effectively the hilt of the sword to start to draw it.
Gotcha. So you're moving to protect him in case this is a bad guy. Sweet.
Right.
And
that's about all I've got right now.
Yeah. Everybody else, some of his soldiers and stuff, definitely turn to look, and they see the guy climbing the water tower, and they're like, "Who the hell is that?" Right? And a couple of them bring out their guns, their machine guns, and start shooting in that direction. It's pretty far away, so it's kind of like they're not gonna hit much, most likely, but they just start shooting, and the guy starts, he kind of looks over his shoulder and just starts climbing up, and tries to get up to the platform and like get around to the other side. So you warned him, and Mercer tells his buddy Crine, "Would you go deal with that, please, while I'm busy? And listen, Doc, do you know what do you know about this Kendra person?"
Is there a knowledge? Well, actually, I have reputation. Would that help with my being able to decide whether I know this person, she knows me?
I'm going to say just because you're an operator, and she's a merchant, right? You know her. You've worked with her before, maybe set up a deal or two, and I'll let you make up like what you want to tell him.
Mercer, I've dealt with her in the past. She's usually a straight shooter. I don't really understand what's going on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to make sure you get the goods that, hey, I know are important to you, but I'm not quite sure what's going on with her. I got to tell you, I kind of give her the benefit of the doubt. Do you remember that time that your nephew was having his birthday party? You wanted that, well, special toy, as you put it. She's the one that helped me.
Okay. So you think there might be something
I think
else
there's
going on.
there's got to be a valid reason for her to be doing this.
All right.
I mean, really, what you're interested in is, I think, the goods, not the guy delivering them. If she wants the guy, let her have them. All we care about are the meds.
Okay. So Mercer has he shouts up to one of these soldiers up on the wall with the machine guns, and he says, "All right, get her attention, and see if we can talk this out." And you think like, oh, he's gonna start shooting, but this guy just brings out a megaphone kind of deal. You haven't seen very often because it's battery powered and they don't like using the batteries. But Mercer starts shouting, or not Mercer, the soldier up on top starts shouting, "Listen up!" And Mercer tells him, "All right, tell her we just want the medicine. We just want the medicine, right?" And it starts shouting that over the megaphone. And so Jeremy, you see, Bill is obviously not going to be able to make it down to the car because he's in a crumpled heap with probably like some broken bones and stuff over there. What are you going to do?
I slide into the driver's seat and I start heading toward the gunshots. Right now, it's the tape deck is playing Village People at full blast.
Nice. Cool. YMCA. All right, and you're going through town, and the people seem to be these gunshots seem to be aimed at the water tower, and you can see somebody up there, sort of walking around on the opposite side, and he's taking this rifle down off his back and kind of like laying down on this platform and taking aim in the direction of the west entrance. Meanwhile, several armed like merchants and citizens and stuff, some of them are just hanging out and don't seem to realize what's going on, but some of them are going the opposite direction of you. What are you going to do? Are you going to do anything about that guy on the water tower? Or?
Yeah, I guess I don't think I'm good enough with guns to actually hit him, but I'm going to come to a halt and take some of the guns that are mounted on this and just sort of shoot in his general direction because I figure that's the fastest way to get people to notice him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so several people are already shooting from the other way, and you're going to kind of like help them keep this guy suppressed. Cool.
Right.
Let's see how good you are at that. With sounds like go aggro.
Okay. I'm not going to be very good at that.
Yeah,
okay, well, I got a 4. A 5 minus 1.
Okay. So you're pretty useless, and these bullets start bouncing off the water tower, and
You know, if I shoot a hole in the water tower, Mercer is really not going to be happy with me.
That's right. You're gonna have to fix that stuff. And let's see what else happens here. Joop, joop, joop. So this guy also sort of turns and since you're the one kind of flanking him, he turns and takes aims down at you on the top of this vehicle. And it's kind of like a single shot rifle, some kind, but it starts ping, and like really close to your head. You can hear the bullet, you know, and every few seconds he like takes aim and takes another shot. So what do you do now?
I'm ducking down. I've got cover. This is an armored vehicle, so
All right.
I'm just I break off shooting at him. I don't think I can shoot at him without exposing myself. So I'm just
Okay.
ducking down into the car, and I'm figuring the armor will take care of this. I mean, I'm not a soldier. I'm just a mechanic. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So back out in the desert. Kendra's got the grenade. Looks like she might throw it into the car. And Wolf, what do you do, man?
So the car is completely disabled as far as I know, right?
By the way, Foster is like squirming under you and is like, just give her the stuff, give her the stuff. And
Okay.
sorry, what?
The car is completely disabled as far as I know.
Yeah, there's like a metal rod
Okay.
kind of sticking up through the engine from the bottom.
How far is she from the car?
Pretty just like a couple feet away, and she's
Okay.
she's close enough that she can just chuck the thing in and then run away.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that I could prevent her from chucking the grenade into the car because I could block the window, but I'm actually going to try to dive out at her and grab her hand and hold it around the grenade so that she can't release it.
Okay.
I just want to grab her hand.
All right. This is pretty tricky because, as I understand it, you're kind of like laying down across the front seat.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to like get into position and then get ready and then spring out.
Yep.
Cool. And so she's got some time to react here, right? She's like,
Sure.
are you trying to like do this sneakily?
I can
or
keep her
just trying to do
distracted.
it as fast as possible.
I think I'm direct.
Okay.
Yeah, distraction would be awesome. And plus, she's got the megaphone yelling at her.
That's true. You start to hear this megaphone. You start to hear gunfire over in the town, and then also this megaphone shouting over that.
Does she turn it all? Because if she
And
turns
she-
it all, I definitely go for it.
She doesn't really turn. She like glances in that direction briefly.
That's all I need.
She's kind of watching out as well. She's pretty cautious here. Yeah. So how are you distracting her, Carmela?
So I've noticed that her arms are cut up pretty badly, and so my idea is that I shut everything down, I roll down the window and I say, regardless of whether or not you throw that grenade, if you don't get any help, you're going to bleed out in about 3 minutes.
It's true. Her arms, as she's holding this grenade up, her arms blood is dripping down, and kind of running off her elbow here. So
I'm going to try and get her to kind of talk to me and everything like that. So I start telling her, you're playing a losing game right now unless you can get some help, and I just happen to be the only help you have right now.
Let's see. Okay, that sounds like probably.
Boy.
I don't think it's manipulating somebody.
I think we're just talking, you know.
You're just talking. Yeah.
I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna very slowly get out of the car with my hands up.
All right.
And I want you to back away.
No, stay in the car. I don't need your help.
I'm completely unarmed, and regardless, one, you drop that, you're gonna get hit by the shrapnel as well. 2, you don't drop it, you're gonna bleed out in 2 minutes. Or 3, you let me get out of the car. You let me help you, and we all walk away from this alive.
Okay. Let's go with sorry, Wolf.
Yeah.
So you're gonna spring out and grab it while she's kind of distracted here. That sounds like seize by force again.
Okay. That is 9 and 3 is 12. I'm hot tonight.
All right.
Not hard, really, but I didn't want to say that.
That's right. You can take those 3 options. I believe, I can't remember exactly. I think you can take the same one more than once if you want to.
Okay. So there's intimidate, seize, damage, and avoid damage.
I might be wrong on that, but yeah.
Well, in any case, so I'm definitely seizing her fist.
Okay.
So I'm gonna in both hands. I will just grab her hand, and I'm going to avoid the other hand, which is clawing at me. So that must be the damage avoidance. And then I'm done intimidating her. So as I'm diving, I just push her, like I take her to the ground. So I'm gonna run my elbow or whatever it is, my shoulder into her face. So I will do lots of damage to her, whatever that option was.
Cool.
As she goes down, I start getting out of the car and moving towards them as quick as I can, while she's distracted and Wolf has got her down.
Okay, you're gonna move towards them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Always good with a grenade.
If this thing goes off, you're gonna be in range, just so you know.
I'm all right with that.
All right. At this point, the another shot comes from the grass, and
Is it on a knoll? Is the grass on a knoll? Is what I need to know.
yes, there's a small knoll
I hate knolls.
that they've taken cover behind, and this shot. It takes a moment to realize, what it hit, but you don't hear it ricochet or anything. You just hear the shot, and as you're on top of Kendra, she's unresponsive now, and you've got your hand around her hand, which is around the grenade. But she's basically dead as far as you can see.
Okay.
So that threat is eliminated, but you realize that the spotter out there must have picked up the rifle, is now taking some shots as well. So
well,
where's the shot coming from?
How far away is this thing? When I had that vision, is it within throwing range at all, or is it like 100 yards out?
Yeah, it's like 100. It's like rifle range kind of distance.
Okay, all right.
It'd be a hell of a throw.
Well, you know what? I'm still going to throw it in that direction because that'll give me cover. All that dust and
Absolutely.
Smoke definitely give me cover. So I'll just toss it at. I'll strip it out of her hand and throw it at in that direction.
Toss that direction, and it's pretty obvious at this point where the shot came from, right? In that direction.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are able to Foster is like, get in the car, and he's already got it. He's like gunning the gas, and this thing is not going anywhere. Right? It's like, so
I tell them, I yell out to them and tell them that they need to get in my car quick. They need to move while we've got a little bit of cover. Come get in my car, and then we can drive back because their car's busted.
Yeah.
And I will tell them that they can trust Carmela for this.
High five.
They're pretty. They don't have a a whole lot of friends around, so they're willing. And Foster reaches in the back seat and grabs his 2 briefcases, and they run over to the other car, and you're able to get it started. You're you're taking a couple of shots as well, but it's pretty inaccurate at this point. So you're able to drive in, and
Can I ask Wolf something?
Yeah.
I asked him if he thinks it's a good idea if we just go run the shooter down right now.
I'll take care of the I'll take care of the shooter. You get Foster and take him to the clinic.
All right, so I get him home. I start heading home.
All right, and Wolf, are you gonna hop in the car with him, or?
No, I'm going after the shooter.
Going after him. All right, sweet.
Nobody takes down my target.
Cool. All right, so cutting back to Dr. Fant. Now, so you've warned Mercer, and he's basically safe at this point because the other shooter is pinned down, and the soldiers are like running to the water tower, and
the shopkeeper.
He has a weapon, but he's not drawing his weapon or anything. He's just complaining, pretty much.
Okay.
So you're able to like hold him back, and he's not like trying to kill anybody. And his car is coming back now, so
Okay.
he's calmed down a little bit.
My friend, you see, I've told you, I've always told you, I can help. I will always help you. You're my good friend. Of course, your car is coming back. Of course it is. Would I lie to you?
Right. Cool. Let's see. And let's.
Mercer, my friend, as I have always told you, a deal with which I assist you is always one you can trust. And here, as I have said, comes not only the goods that you have asked for, but the person for whom I have spoken.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, and if you'll look at the water tower, you will agree, a good day for everyone.
Yeah, I don't call this a good day in my town, but I take your point. Let's I need to talk to you. Let's go back to my office.
My friend, I live to serve you.
Okay, and cool. So we're gonna. Sorry, just waiting for Kyle here. Okay, so
Kyle's character is dead? Really? That quickly? Just kidding.
That's right. No, we're gonna
Dude,
skip ahead.
one bio break and that's what happens.
Sometimes that's how it goes in a Apocalypse world. We're gonna skip ahead here, and the shooters. I'm just gonna ask real quick. So Wolf, when you go get this guy, are you just killing him, or are you trying to catch him, or what are you gonna do?
No, he's just dead.
He's just dead. Okay, cool. So you managed to take care of that, and then the shooter on the water tower, is captured, as the soldiers go up, and as it turns out, the other thing that was happening on the east side of town, near the secondary entrance, is there's this big dust cloud over there, and there's a whole bunch of these jackrabbits, kind of a little bit off in the distance, but there's got to be, thousands of them out there, and they're all kind of like swarming around, and it looks like some of them might be headed toward the town, and some of the people are kind of a lot of people heard about this and are going out there with their guns and stuff. ready to shoot these things if they come closer for the food mainly. And so far, there's been like some shots fired and stuff, but it's too long range, and they're just kind of like the swarm's like mulling around out there, not really approaching the town yet, but people are freaked out about it, or they think it's gonna like swarm the town, or some people are like getting their vehicles ready to go out there and go hunting. So let's go back to Jerry. Or sorry, I should ask real quick. How's everybody doing? Stop the game for a moment.
Good. I've probably got about another. I probably have to call it midnight, which is about another 15 minutes or so.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Cool. Good. All right. So for the next scenes, like up to now, it's been pretty like moment to moment, but now we're gonna just kind of play a little looser and explore these characters a little more before we have to call it. So cool. So Jerry, you are brought before Mercer, and he is giving you credit for getting the vehicles ready, really quickly, and for helping fight off the shooter on the water tower. But unfortunately, you're also receiving the blame for Bill, who was sent to go tell you to bring the vehicles, who is now has got a bunch of broken bones and is being treated by Carmela, or is being brought to Carmela. But Mercer wanted to have a word for you and like get the story from you. Like, what the hell happened, man?
Well, he heard the shooting and he went up on the roof to get a better look, and somehow he fell off. I didn't see exactly what was happening up there, but I think maybe he may have been trying for a shot at something, and he just the roof was slippery. The roof surface is not quite even. He just lost his footing. That would be my guess. But you'd have to really ask him what happened. I didn't see it.
And isn't it your place that those kids hang out? Those
oh yeah, always in his gang. You could ask them what happened, but I'll tell you the truth. I can never get a straight answer out of those guys.
I think you need to shout out, "You can't handle the truth."
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Jeremy. You do a good job for us here, and I appreciate you working on these cars for me. But somebody messes with my soldiers, they're going down. And if I can't find out, who's responsible for this, I'm gonna hold you responsible. So do me a favor and figure it out. All right?
Okay. I mean, I'll talk to Bob quietly, and I'm going to point out to him that if he really wants to tell Mercer that he was up dancing on the roof and he fell off, I mean, I will tell Mercer that I was covering for him. I think he might have been doing drugs. I don't know how he fell off the roof. But, I mean, okay. I'm going to point out to him that his best option is to say he went up the roof in response to the shots. He was trying to take a shot at these guys and he lost his footing. I mean, that's the best story for everyone as far as I can tell.
So you're gonna go tell Bill this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he wants to say that Hocus that always pushed him off the roof, he's going to have to explain what he was doing on the roof in the first place, and I don't think he wants to go there.
All right. So Carmela, as this guy is brought to you, and Jerry is kind of whispering in his ear as he's being carried to your infirmary.
On the stretcher.
Yeah.
It's like I love the idea of Jerry kind of walking alongside the gurney as they're wheeling him down.
Yeah, exactly. So Carmela, so what are you gonna do for this guy? For Bill?
Well, first things first. This is standard procedure because I've got the healing touch. I stabilize and
also
go ahead.
Or no, nobody else is injured, right? Never mind. You're good
Yeah,
to
I
go.
don't think anyone else is injured. But so I put my hands on Bill's wounds to see how he's doing, and I open my brain to him and roll weird, which is really going to suck for both of us. But I'm
Okay.
good because that's what I do. 8, finally. So 7. 7 to 9, heal 1 segment, but you're acting under fire from the patient's brain.
Okay. So just to be clear, you can heal the slow way, right? Which is just as in life, you just bandage it up and set the bones, and it just takes time to do it, right? But and Carmela can help you Carmela can help you do that. But instead, Carmela is deciding to go the faster way, which is also the riskier way of using the power of the psychic maelstrom to heal quickly, like magic, right? But here's some of the consequences of doing it this way.
I figured I might as well take my chances, but hang on. So, we both opened to run to the psychic maelstrom without protection or preparation for you and for your patient. If your patient's a fellow player character, treat it as if you missed the roll. So for patients belonging to the MC, their experience and fate are up to the MC. So we both open our maelstrom. I heal him 1 segment, but other than that, we've both opened up our mind.
He's definitely stabilized, and not going to bleed out or anything like that. And you heal him up a little bit. He's still pretty badly injured, but go ahead and do something under fire. And the fire is that the maelstrom and Bill's memories are invading your mind.
Okay.
And he's going to drive you nuts, pretty much.
Crap. 5. All right, so I did something under fire and got a 5. So I've had some very, very bad rolls tonight, everybody.
Yes. Okay. Let's go with the as you're treating him and his mind opens up to you, you get it looks like a vision. It's almost like a dream, and you just go completely into this other world, this dream, and you're in a dark sort of nightclub type atmosphere with these flashing lights everywhere, and Always is there, and there's like vague figures dancing sort of in the background, and you can't make out, but Always is like looking at you and reaching out to your face and sort of grabbing your head and and let's see. You know that Always tried to kill Bill, and
Well, okay, let's be clear. He knows that Always did this to him.
Yes, did this to him. True.
Just kind of to see what would happen.
Yeah. Well, from Bill's perspective, right? In Bill's mind.
Oh, sure, that's fair. I think that's fair. Okay, I'll buy that.
And
fair enough.
And Bill asks you. Bill tells you, Carmela, to kill him. He's freaking out, man. You gotta kill him. Kill him for me.
I give him. I can actually. I've got a kit here. I'm gonna give him an extra cool stim or a chill stab and knock him out before I promise to do anything. I'm just like, I'm not gonna promise you anything, but obviously I'm going to investigate what's going on. I've always been a little bit weirded out by that Hocus and his hocus pocus going on over there, but now I need to have a talk with Always.
Yes. And you, as you come back, he's just like screaming out, to everybody around, and all the soldiers and stuff who carry him here are like very concerned about all this yelling that's going on. But you chill him out, so it's fine. And let's see, Dr. Fant. You get your stuff, Carmela's, medicine and drugs and whatever, and you're able to deliver it. And Mercer now, he wants to know, like, what was the connection with the shooter on the water tower, right? And he's asking you.
My friend, it is obviously of as much importance to me as it is to you, and of course I will do whatever I can, talk to everyone I know to find out the answer to this question. Please let me go and speak to her and try and put these pieces together for you while you deal with much more important topics. I will come to you with an answer. Please do not concern yourself with it.
Hang on now. I'm also curious, what was this delivery? What's in those briefcases? You want to...
You had asked me to find the medicines that you need. I'm not knowledgeable in what medicine does which, so I put out a general request for anything that might be of use to you and to the people over whom you watch.
All right, let me take a look.
Of course. Let me find them. Would you like to come with me? Would you like me to have someone bring them to you?
Yeah, I'll come with you. I want to take a look before you hand them over to Carmela.
Of course. So I walk him over to the pallet where we're holding these things, and I proceed to open each of the cases.
And Wolf, you are. I'm gonna say you're also there for this deal because it was Foster, who brought these things in, and
because of my relationship with Wolf, I'm kind of sort of glancing over anything I should know, anything you don't want me to do, any packages I shouldn't open, kind of thing.
Right.
So I'm confused here because I thought so there were two briefcases with Foster, right?
That's right.
And they were delivered to Carmela. Were they about to be delivered to Carmela?
Right, they're about to be delivered, but first Mercer's like, wait, let me see what's inside those things.
All right, so where's Foster?
And Foster, I think, is.
And why is he not with his briefcases?
He's also here with his briefcases, right?
Okay.
So this is the point where he's just arrived, been driven into town, and he was waiting for Dr. Fant to come and pick up the stuff.
Okay, so he was expecting to deliver it to Dr. Fant, not to Carmela.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. So so Mercer has asked the stuff to be open, so I guess it's up to Foster. Does Foster give any indication that he doesn't want to open these cases?
He's fine with that. In fact, Foster is about to. He's handing over the briefcases, and he's just gonna split. Him and Mill are ready to leave. And he's like, "Listen, do what you like. My part is done here. But Wolf, I'll have to pay you.
Yes, you will.
Just give me a couple days, and I'll pay you."
I will make sure that he is very aware that I will be able to follow him and figure out where he goes.
All right. He's getting out of this picture.
Do I get the sense that so whenever somebody delivers a briefcase and runs, I think about explosives because that's the kind of thing I think about.
And that's why I keep looking over at you, Wolf, and looking for any sort of indication.
Gotcha. So it sounds like both of you are trying to read a person, right? So go ahead and you're going to roll plus sharp because you're trying to read a person to charge interaction and figure out what they're up to.
So I do the 2 6-sider on the dice rolling thing here, right?
That is correct.
So I get a 2 and a 6, and my sharp is +1.
Okay, so a total of
I've got
9.
a 9.
All right.
And
So
I
you
get a total of 8.
Okay, so you each get to ask one of those questions on the read a person list, which is your character telling the truth? What's your character really feeling? What does your character intend to do? What does your character wish I'd do? And how could I get your character to blank, do whatever? So it sounds like one of you is at least is asking, what does your character intend to do, right? Like, i.e., blow this thing up or what?
Well, I guess I'm almost thinking it's what do you want me to do? Because if you want me to open that briefcase and make it explode, then that's I'm trying to. I guess that's my take on it is what do you want me to do?
What page is the are the questions at? I'm sorry. On the mini PDF.
33, just the basic moves. Cool, and yeah, you get the sense Foster is he would be. What does he wish you'd do? Yeah, just leave him alone. Just stay here. Don't follow him. Stay there. It's fine.
So he doesn't particularly care if I open the briefcase or not.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, all right. I'm going to do as your character telling the truth. Hey, Foster, is this stuff actually going to help us? Actually, let me rephrase. Hey, Foster, are you actually living up to your end of the deal?
Of course. Yes, it's the best medicine that I could find. And you could, he's completely lying. It's he's not holding up his end of the deal for sure, and it's probably not medicine.
Well, shit. Where am I in relationship to him?
Oh,
between him and the door? Oh, please, oh, please.
Sure. Let's say that.
Let me introduce the world to my sword cane. The sword out and pointing very, very, very close to him. My friend, I think it's probably to all of our best interests if you stick around for a little bit. Please, I insist.
All right, I don't see why, but fair enough. And at this point, Wolf, he's kind of like looking at you like, help me out here.
I look at him and I say, why don't you open the briefcase?
All right. Well, it's really it's none of my business. It's not my briefcase anymore. You guys go ahead.
Can I poke just a little bit closer with the sword cane?
All right. Sounds like Sounds like you're going aggro. If you intend to actually kill him, if he doesn't do it, then that's go aggro.
Because apparently my job is done protecting him because he said that my job is done protecting him. So
fair enough. If you're just trying to convince him to do it, then it'll be manipulating.
No, I think while I'm generally a manipulator, I think at this point it's really a question of, well, yeah, I'm concerned about Mercer. Not really. I'm concerned about Wolf. Yes, I am. But I'm obviously ultimately concerned with myself. I'd like to know what's in there before anything and everything could, hit the fan.
Okay.
So
I'm definitely going to back his. I'm definitely going to back his play. I mean, I've worked with him before, and I know what Kane's about, and I will help make sure that his sword and Foster's stomach are good friends.
See, no, I'm thinking more of the throat. That's just where I'm standing right now.
But right. I want to make sure that Foster doesn't feel like he has anywhere else he can go.
Cool.
So I will be intimidating him to as part of this business here.
So, so Wolf, go ahead and roll plus your HX with L, and L, go ahead and roll to go aggro. So plus hard for you.
So I'm doing 2d6 again?
Yep. And then add your hard stats.
Yeah.
I get 8 and 3 for 11 with Dr. Fant.
One die, only one die showed up. Oh, here we go.
That's gonna suck.
Hold on.
Yeah, just give it
there
a
we
moment.
go. 8 minus. This is hard?
Yes.
So it's 7.
Okay, and then you have +1 for the help, so a total of 8. So on a 7 and 9, they can choose instead to try to get the hell out of the way, barricade themselves, give you something they think you want, back off calmly, or tell you what you want to know or what you want to hear. So he says, all right. Listen, easy, okay? It's it's not what you think.
I don't think.
It's not medication. It's a poison, all right? It's poison, and I don't want to be anywhere near it. So don't open it. Whatever you do, don't open it.
And who, my friend, asked you to give this to us?
It was Chak, the traitor. I don't know. I don't know why. He just paid me to do it. All right.
Does my sword cane have the? If you ever want to answer the door in the middle of the night and you have a pump shotgun, the best way of doing it is to rack around. Does my sword cane have the rack around function?
Yeah. So I imagine what you do is you just kind of pull it back, right? And then when you slam it forward, that's what fires it. So you just
that's really what I'd like to do while it's pointed at his throat. My friend, I think, and of course I mean you no disrespect, intend to provide us with more information.
All right. Okay. I know where he is. I can show you where he is. That's all I know. I swear.
My friend Mercer, is this a benefit to you? Do I continue to, with my friend Wolf, show the benefit to you of our servants?
Mercer says, all right, let him go. It's fine. If he'll show us, then I can be merciful.
Mercer the Merciful.
That's right. I like that name.
I look at Foster and I tell him that you're gonna pay me before you leave this town, or you're not leaving this town. Do you understand?
Of course, of course.
It seems, my friends, as though this has been a benefit to us all.
Only
My
it
friend,
seems,
My
I'm
friend
not getting-
Wolf.
I'm
My
not
friend
getting
Wolf
paid.
is receiving what is due to him. I, of course, am receiving what is due to me by serving Mercer the Merciful. And Mercer the Merciful is receiving what he has requested. I think, my friends, that this is a benefit all around.
Right. Sounds good. Let's call it.
Hey, Wolf, something tells me you're still going to get to bitch slap the fuck out of this guy.
Yeah, he's gonna end up dead.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, there's definitely a pistol whipping in his future.
Cool. So, yeah, I'm really interested to explore these characters more, but we're out of time. So there is an end of session move that says at the end of every session, you choose somebody who knows you better than they used to, and then tell them to get +1 HX with you. If you ever get to +4 with somebody, it kind of wraps around to +1, but you mark experience every time that happens. And there's cool stuff with getting experience. Every 5 experience, you can do an improvement, which is like adding to improving your stats, or getting a new move from your class, or you might pick up some more some moves from some other playbook, stuff like that. It's a lot of cool ways it can go, but in any case, we can just skip over that for the sake of time. But thanks everybody for playing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. That was good fun.
If you have any, one thing I need to get better at is spreading the spotlight around more and more evenly, and getting everybody involved. But
Spotlight control is tough. Is tough in a first session because the game is really campaign focused.
That's true.
I mean, it's it puts front and center a lot of mechanics designed to drive a multiple game session, and so if you're playing
I
at
think you did a
home,
great job.
if you're playing at home, then if there's one character who if someone's playing a character who stays in one spot or something like that, then the other people can come to him. And it's not a big deal if you don't get as much focus in one game because next game things will move around and stuff like that.
Yeah, and maybe I should have set up a better situation where you're all together kind of deal. But in any case, yes.
I got to tell you, for the first time having played in 15 years, 12 years, whatever it's been, I've had a blast. So I think you did a fantastic job.
Cool.
Yeah, and it is a great system to draw you right in and kind of you have fully realized characters right off the bat in a way that's really cool, and especially the way the HX thing ties everybody together. That's really definitely one of the coolest features of the game.
And usually you get to as the MC, I should ask you more questions to establish more stuff. Yeah. So you get to contribute a lot to building the setting, the kind of setting you want to see, and building the characters and all that stuff. So it's
we had 6 PCs, which is a lot for this game.
Yeah, that's a big load.
Yeah. It's the sweet spot's really I have found it to be 4.
Yeah.
And you can do 5 if you have an MC that can really pop it, but 6 is just a challenge for anyone. So
yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
for what
it was cool.
For what it's worth, I just picked up the printout, the hard copy of the rule book as well as the PDF. So you definitely got me interested in the game.
It's fantastic. Right. Somewhere Vincent is smiling.
Yeah, and, speaking of that, so just to wrap it up here for the video anyway. This has been Apocalypse World by Vincent Baker. If you're interested, check it out at apocalypse-world.net, I think it is. Apocalypse-world.com, sorry. You can
It's
Google
.com,
it.
yeah.
It's very cool. You can check out all the playbooks with all the character info and choices on it. You can check out the forums and buy the thing, of course. There's also a lot of games based on this system. Dungeon World takes it very similar, but more party-based, like high fantasy dungeon crawling experience. There's Monster Hearts, which is you play high schoolers who are also literal monsters, like werewolves and vampires and ghosts and stuff. There's all kinds of different directions you can take this basic idea of these moves, which is the core idea behind it. It's really cool. So check it out. And this has been Indie Plus Game Night, Games in the Bar. We'll see you on October 18th for the next one. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. That was a lot of fun.
I will be there.
So,
All right.
Great.
Good night.